Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daytona 375 from, well, sunny Daytona, Florida. These boys are going to have their hands full tonight as this wonderful Daytona event will feature no rubber on the racetrack except for what they have put down in the practice session. Everybody's on pit road now. The track is not open. They're in driver's meeting. So we've got about 9 minutes. We went live a little early-ish. You know, wanted to just kind of make sure everything's running right, make sure that everything is going okay. And we're going to be joined in the booth once again by our colleague for the Cup Series, at least this week, this previous week. We will have Josh Susi in the booth with us once he has concluded driver's meeting. He's, of course, race control admin, so he'll be doing a double shift with us here in the booth, and we're not sure if somebody might come up and join us in the booth at some point, but as of right now, it's just going to be me and Susie, and we'll see how it goes from there as we are overhead on sunny Daytona. So, guys, we're ready to kick this off. This is, of course, the first official points race of the season for everybody here in NORA for the Cup Series. It's a big to do, if you would. You will see up on our ticker that scrolls across, you'll see drivers with the registered mark after their name. You'll see drivers with an O after their name and drivers without anything after their name. If they have the registered mark, the little R inside of a circle, that means they are rookies. If they have an O after their name, that means they're only going for owner's points. They're not going for the points. And if they don't have anything next to their name, that means that they are a season, or they've been in the league. Now, this is the third season, so they've been in the league for either a season or two. They're not a rookie, but they are attempting points. So that is your denote for who is doing what tonight. We had a couple guys that sneaked in to the race after both of the duels. We had Keegan Bitzer, who just made it in, and I forget who the other driver was. I believe it was Corey Danielson that just made it in. So we've set the duels, we've set the lineups. I don't remember the lineups, to be fair, and we will go over them once we get through the practice session, we get to the grid, and we'll cover the warm-ups. But for now, yeah, we're just waiting on driver's meeting to finish up, Susie to join us, the track to reopen, or if driver's meeting doesn't end before then, we will, just see everything in the race, see some cars on track in the race. Just a second. All right. So it does look like there's going to be a little bit of weather moving in. Let me see if I can't pull. So we do actually have a car moving onto track. I'm not sure who that is. We're going to try and get a camera on him. And it's going to be the 24 car of, if I can find the driver, Vincent Arthur. So he's going on track. He's the only guy I've seen on track, so I'm not really sure if he's supposed to be out there yet. Take a quick look at Discord and see what's going on. So yeah, I don't think he's supposed to be on track at the moment. But so you may hear me kind of stop talking for a moment with certain things, and then you'll see flashes or switches of camera or other things. That's me playing with my new contraptions for how we're doing the cameras, essentially. And it's actually going to work out pretty well, I believe. So we just kind of flip through, make sure that we've got pretty much all the paint schemes done. See if I can't do something for myself to help me out. There's the button I'm looking for. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so that's going to help me out, what I just did. You guys can't see it, but I can. So we've got all our cars here. Everybody looks ready to go. We're just kind of looking through at each car. Dalton Tucker. Back once again. There we go with old BP. He's going to roll off second behind Jake Boyer. So 4 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, 4 minutes. This is 375 miles. We are just 125 miles short of a Daytona 500. So that's 50 laps for those that are counting at home. This is a 150 lap race with the stages at what I believe was 37 and 74. And I will double check with Susie when he gets here to make sure of that, because he will know for sure. Other than that, yeah, we're about ready to kick this thing off, kicking into high gear. I know I'm ready for some high speed racing. I hope you guys are too. Just want to, before we kick everything off, I want to give a big shout out to all of the admins that make this happen. There are a great number of them that managed to make NORA possible. Certainly, just along the lines, Martin Blude, Corey Danielson, Josh Conover, Justin White, Chad Angle, Dalton Tucker, and Brian Powell are guys that have admin roles in our Discord. So I'm just naming you guys because that's what you got. These are the guys that make this happen, that allow us to bring NORA to you guys on YouTube. So I just want to give a big thank you to you guys. It does look like the track is open, so we might be seeing Susie in here soon. Very possibly. I'll double check just again. See if anybody's moving around. Not quite yet. But we did see a car go out on track, so we'll have to wait and see. Just 2 minutes. I know I'm ready for this race. I hope you guys are ready for this race. It is going to be a blast. And I'm hoping that the car sounds will be fairly well done. I can't make you promises on any of the long shots that you'll have great sound, because I'm keeping the audio capture for that down, so that when I go close-up camera for whatever it might be for any of our specialty cameras for like our Crank It Up, that you guys can hear that a little bit better without it blowing out your eardrums on a phone or whatever it might be. So I just want to explain that ahead of time, that, if you're wondering why you're not getting car sound as well as you might, that's just what it is. I tend to kind of leave it on camera 4 sometimes, or camera 3, and forget about it. Hopefully I'm not going to do that tonight. I have a lot more to play with to make this work even better. So we'll see if we can't make it all happen for you guys, as we're getting closer and closer to roll time. So let me see if I can pull that up so I can get a better view of the live chat. I know that you guys are going to be a little bit behind us on the live chat. You might hear me cracking open one. To make sure you're refreshed for such a long broadcast like tonight. And nothing goes down better than a cold Pepsi, at least for me. So with 7 seconds to go, I believe we're going to be switching over to race mode here in just a second. Yep. And once that happens, we'll go to the grid, try and get you guys the proper car on track, essentially. Yeah, we got race. All right. All right, so we're gonna do. Set that on our old boy. That should be our pole sitter once he loads in. All right.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Josh. We have already been underway for a little bit, so I just want to
Yeah,
make sure
sorry.
that.
Sorry about the late entry. The boys had a little bit of a late drivers meeting that I had to officiate over, and there was plenty of good questions, which I'm glad to see. Everyone want to make sure they're following the rules, and it's all ironed out. So I'm ready, man. You excited?
Absolutely, I'm ready to kick this thing off. Like I said, we went early. One thing I wanted to get from you real quick: what is stage one's lap end?
That'll be beginning of lap 37, and stage 2 is beginning of lap 74.
All right, so that's what I thought. So we'll set the stage's scoring up on the screen. That box off. If it'll go off, there we go. All right, so our grid, and you'll have this, I assume, just as much as me. We've got Jake Boyer, who qualified on pole, and Brian Powell, who set up the outside row there. And then we've got Bruce Ackerman in third, Martin Plute starting from the fourth spot, Ben Quimby Jr. from fifth, Justin White in sixth, Cody Reeder in seventh. It doesn't actually look like he is here. Matthew George in eighth. I could be wrong, but no, it doesn't look like he is here. All right. And this is now. There we go. Right, and then we've got Chad Engel in ninth, Ernie Ludwig in 10th, Mark McFadden in 11th, Ray Heigl in 12th, Shane Weinmiller 13th, Timothy Harper 14th, and Cody McKinney 15th. But they're coming out of turn 4 already, so we're going to go back up to the leader here. So I don't think we're going to be holding them back any longer. These engines are about to sing as we are ready for green flag racing in the Daytona 375 for NORA. And we get a great side-by-side start right off the bat. Looks like there's nobody breaking any
Oh, someone's
rules.
all the way down on the bottom.
Interesting. Oh, we do have an incident already. All right, so let's see if we can't go back and find out what happened there on that restart. A little further back in the field, I thought I saw the Lowe's car of, I believe that is Kevin Roy. No, it's going to be Josh Conover getting sent through the infield, and then on top of that, just the entire rest of the field piling in to a giant.
It looks like a 6 car did not take off. I checked up Conover and he got hit from behind.
Absolutely. So let's see if we can't. Let's actually see if we can't ride on board Conover and see what happened there for just a second. All right. So we're on board with Conover. Absolutely. The 6 car doesn't get going and then actually checks up more. Conover gets into the back of him. He gets hit from behind, sent down to the infield, and then chaos ensues just in front of him. So it looks like Keegan Bitzer might have lucked out with some net code there working in his favor.
I wonder if there's something wrong with the 6. It looks like maybe his toe got knocked out or so he didn't get his steering set.
Yeah,
He's looking a little wonky on the straightaway.
I'm not sure on that. Got our first use of, I think, the nose camera, and I'm surprised. I'm blatantly surprised that iRacing didn't throw a caution for that.
Yeah, iRacing. If they spin down below the yellow and they're not on the surface, a lot of times they won't throw it.
Yeah, and sometimes it amazes me. So if there was anything going on at the front, I apologize. I was getting us some replays of that event, but
Well,
Jake
Jake
Boyer,
still got the lead.
yep, Jake Boyer continues to lead. So that's what you want to see if you're Jake Boyer, for sure. And I believe that's Bruce Ackerman just pushing him along on the inside line. There's not really an outside line, so probably maybe, and you could see I'm not sure who that is that jumped out of line. Maybe Matthew George in the Powerade car, but it kind of seems like everybody just kind of wants to hold steady, if it were.
You're back live, right?
I should have been live. I don't think I ever went not live. Oh, I am live. Yeah.
Okay, go for
it. Sorry.
I know you were looking at replays. Just want to make sure we're back
Yeah.
on track. It's a long race, man. 150 laps. There's no fast repairs, so as boring as it may be to have a single file race around the bottom, you definitely need to be there at the end. I know from experience in last week's NIS races, those were full 200 laps, and there was a good majority of them just riding single file around the bottom.
Absolutely, and you want to win your stage. You want to get stage points, and certainly that's going to be important. But above it all, you've got to be able to finish the race before you can even get to that point. You got to be able to make it to the end of the stage. So riding around, yeah, absolutely. It may suck. It may be boring at times, but it kind of gets you to that finish essentially.
Well, and that's what matters. It's not about lap 5, lap 50, lap 100. It's all about 150. That's what pays the money.
Absolutely.
We
As
see
Bruce,
Bruce jumped out here.
absolutely, and he's going to be able to clear him on his own. What a move!
I think it kind of looked like Boyer just backed out of it.
And he very well. I'm not sure if they're teammates. You might be a little bit more up on that. But now the 10 car of Ben Quimby manages to take the lead. And BP leading the outside line. That line's formed up a little bit.
In the Full Throttle Motorsports stable, so they are not teammates.
10-4.
Now, I was just about to make the comment about Jake saying he's going to want to be careful. I know the fuel window is 37 to 41. If you're in the middle of the pack and saving, you can stretch it out to 41. And our stage is on 37. If you're the leader, there might be a chance that you don't make it. So it's probably a good thing he dropped back. He's probably running 3/4 throttle right now, wanting to ensure that he can make it to the end of stage 1.
Absolutely, and certainly, while being able to pit a little bit earlier could be an advantage going into stage 2, but you want them early stage points. You got to make it to that. So saving fuel is definitely the way.
It's all about track position too, and I know he's an owner's guy, so he's not really going to benefit from the stage points. But being up front in that position, you don't want to really give up being up front.
Nope. So we can just kind of see it. It looks like almost there might be two different packs forming essentially. That group that was wrecked.
Absolutely.
Yep, the group that was wrecked, and then this one with, I believe that's Matthew George tailing the end of the line.
Yes, he's sitting in 19th. I think he's still got the toe, but then 6 seconds back from the leader, you got McKinney. The McKinney brothers or cousins. I never really have figured that out. They're leading the pack of about 7 cars, and then you got all the guys that were involved in the beginning skirmish with damage and everything, running from 27th to 34th.
And for those guys that are able to continue on, maybe they don't have a lot of damage. They're just trying to make it to the stage without getting lapped. No.
That's
if they
going to be
can.
hard to do.
Yeah. Let's see. I know
Conover
Keegan
and
was in
Roy
the
are
lap.
running together. Their last lap was a 47.2, and Bruce's last lap was a 46.0. Over a second faster.
And it looks like
They're
Craig.
already 35. They're 10 laps from being lapped, if not
Yeah,
fewer.
yeah. I don't know that they're going to be able to hold on and uh, be able to get through that. There is, of course, I think 5 or 6 cars maybe back there. If they could get teamed up, they might stand a chance together. But they've got to catch one another and do something. And that's just hoping that they're not down on power. So it's a big hurt when you get in an early wreck, and especially one that early, and then on top of it, iRacing doesn't really want to help you out. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
but sometimes you end up back there, and we call it the hornet's nest at times, and you don't always want to be there. So, kind of
Boy,
kind of
I bet
happens.
we shouldn't come over the radio and tell Josh Blade Timmons is making a charge off the outside for the lead.
Yeah, he
Josh
probably ain't gonna be too happy about that one.
Blade Timmons was the driver that had a slow start and kind of accordioned all that mess. Now here he is challenging for the lead.
We actually seem to have lost the night. Yeah, there it is again. 9 car with just a quick blink in and out. So let's see if we can't get a nice. I've wanted to use the old helmet camera for quite some time, and we're going to say that Bruce Ackerman's got it on board. So this is what you want to see leading the inside line. Nothing in front of you. It's a beautiful sight when you are the leader. And you can actually, sorry about cutting you off there.
Oh, you're fine. Go ahead.
You can actually, in this view, as now Blade Timmons has cleared to the inside, you can see Bruce is going to follow him around, but you could see on that straightaway the slower cars, the group of guys that were involved in that lap 1 wreck, they're actually all coming to pit road now. So that might be a strategy call on their part.
Well, you got to try something, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it's going to do for them, but certainly a chance at maybe doing something different. Oof, so many cars. As Bruce, I keep seeing him when he goes into the corners every now and then, just kind of getting down onto the apron. It's a little scary if you're behind him, more than likely. You'd have to think. Oof. It does look like now Timothy Harper going to take it to the outside. I believe he actually did lead that last lap in the number 9 car for, I believe that's Outlaw Racing. So,
Not so fast.
Blade Timmons and Bruce Ackerman are going to push back on the inside. Certainly, they're not going to give this up. And Dalton Tucker is right there with them. Payne Faust drops in behind them. And there's a lot of guys up here just going for some owners points. And a few guys that are looking to get the win to get themselves locked into the chase later on.
Absolutely. I know some tickets to trouble in this race we didn't really get a chance to talk about, but entry into 3 more than 1, especially later on in a run, these right side tires wear out more than the left, and you'll catch some guys getting loose sometimes, especially if they catch the apron. That's going to be a recipe for disaster. There are other trouble spots actually going through the trial, like I think we saw a couple times in the Busch Clash and the duels, people catching the left side going through the trial, just trying to hug the line. Sometimes they'll throw you into the pits.
Absolutely. And it's a difficult attempt at trying to get that car to stick down there and really be fast, but at the same time, not wrecking the car essentially. As they got around, I believe that was Kevin Roy, really easy going through 3 and 4 there and not really getting themselves into too much trouble. So Dalton Tucker has taken over the lead. Now he is, of course, one of our points drivers trying to get up here. We're trying to run for the championship. But he's got 2 guys. Well, he's got 1 guy behind him, actually, that is running for an owner. He's pushing him. And behind them is the owner's guys. It's Payne Faust, it's Timothy Harper. So it's a challenge when you're trying to lead here. Certainly, it's still early. There's only, I think, probably 10 cars in this lead pack back to the 55. It's kind of split up a little bit. Now, obviously, the cars that are 11th on back or whichever positions it might be up front, I think I'm actually a little bit off on how many cars are up here.
Looks like we got 10 in our lead pack. A couple
Okay.
lap down cars mixed in there. And you got a group from 11th to 14th just riding, and then from 15th to 23rd just riding. And they don't really have anything to gain. Might as well keep the car clean, make it through this stage. We're almost halfway there.
Absolutely. These guys that are up here in this lead pack, they're the ones getting the stage points, and that's about it. So we'll see if they can clear Keegan Bitzer and Josh Conover with ease here, and I believe that's going to be putting those guys 2 laps down.
That should be 4 laps down now.
Oh, so they were on pit road for a lot longer than I thought they were.
Yeah, they had some damage time to fix for sure.
Absolutely. So they're hoping for a couple cautions to maybe get them back into this race if they don't have engine damage. It doesn't really look like they do. They're kind of sticking with the lead pack.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think where they pitted so early into the stage, they can't afford to stay out at the end of this stage. So they're not going to be able to take advantage of that wave around. About the only advantage they might have is some 15-lap runs where people decide to come in and pit, and they can roll the dice and hope for a caution. But that's going to be a real tall order to come back from 4 laps down.
Yeah, and I've seen it happen in official races, but this isn't an official race, and I don't see it happening, honestly. But we'll keep an eye on them, and who knows? Maybe we get enough cautions that they can, but that is a tall order.
I don't see it happening, and I feel bad for saying that. That makes for a long night. The only consolation they have is they're both just owners guys, so it's still it is the Daytona 500 and you want to win it, but at least it's not hurting them on points.
Yeah, I'm just I know I'm a little more heartbroken knowing that one of those is my car essentially. That's at 19 there. That's my ride for next week. So,
well, you can't get any worse, maybe.
Sure. I'm looking forward to the road course, but Dalton Tucker continues to lead over Blade Timmons, and I believe that is Mark McFadden in the 00. I don't think we've even mentioned him tonight. I don't even know where he started at this point.
He started in 11th.
Okay. So I guess I did mention him during the grid. So
Roy must feel like he can't make it on fuel. He said he's going to pit next time by.
Interesting.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah. If I couldn't make it on fuel, I'd probably wait a bit longer, especially because I believe he is already 1 lap down.
He's still on the lead lap. He's running 23rd, tail end of the 2nd or 3rd pass.
Oh, Roy Crump, 10-4.
Yeah, Roy Crump.
Sorry. I forgot there's Roy Crump and Kevin Roy. So, yeah, then if he's still on the lead lap, then that makes even less sense.
Well, you do want to pit with a pack. What I did not realize, and I forgot, that we only run 75% fuel here compared to real life.
So they are going to have to stop in this stage.
They are going to have to stop.
Okay. So that explains the need to pit earlier then. Okay then. So that explains a bit more. We're not sure what a fuel run is then, I guess.
Well, if it's the same they used in the Clash, we had what, 18 to 22, 23,
Well, the Clash was on the road course, so
or not the Clash, but
I
the
think,
duels,
yeah, I think the duels were 18 to 23.
or
I
19
think
to
you're right.
24, somewhere in that
Somewhere in
scenario.
that, yeah. So
We're
then
on lap
they,
23 right now.
yeah, they should be just about ready to come in then. We'll see.
We'll just have to pay attention.
Absolutely. Get the old pick camera lined up and ready to go. I see everybody single file, so it's got to be coming soon.
Unless we ran a different fuel load.
And it might be slightly more because the race got pushed longer than it was originally scheduled for. I think actually, wasn't it 60% fuel for the duels?
I think it might have been, but our leader just came over, said he's spitting this time, so that's lap 24.
Oh,
Well, let's see how long everyone else can. A 55, 56 coming in. Keep an eye on that.
all right. Well then, might be the same. It might be maybe a couple laps extra is all it was worth. Maybe if there was a change to the fuel level. So, well, they're going to be coming off pit road here, or coming off of the racing surface here soon. We'll see. Oh,
Got a
that's
lot
going
of
to be
people
an
pitting.
interesting camera.
Oh, Dalton pulled a fakearoonie. He stayed out.
And everybody looks like they're going to make it on. It's pretty much ease. So we've got a good group of cars, but yeah, Dalton fakes them out essentially, keeps them all out, or keeps himself out on track, and all these guys come down. Keep an eye here, as it looks like Dalton's going to get freight trained by that decision. Kind of ends up costing him.
That's what I was worried about.
Yeah, because he lost his drafting partner, which then, or the car that was behind him. Actually, I think both of the cars that were behind him. So that gave him a huge gap back to the next car. And he's going to come down this time, along with a few others. Looks like Martin Plute, Jake Boyer in that group. We're going to see how that plays out. So Timothy Harper is going to retake over the lead. He's got his teammate Ernie Ludwig pushing him from behind. Pretty sure. I speak sometimes without knowing for sure, but I'm pretty sure of it. And then to see where Blade Timmons is in comparison to this group. So Blade and his company of drivers are going through 3 and 4, so they definitely made great time on their pit stop. We're going to have to see how this relates to Dalton Tucker and his pit stop, and he should be probably going through 1 and 2 right now as he is on the apron. But he's got no help anywhere near him when he comes out of here.
He's getting trained right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going too fast for him to catch that draft.
And the next car behind him, which I believe is Jake Boyer or Martin Plute, I'm not sure which one, is a bit far behind him. So we'll have to see where he cycles through. It's showing me currently him running in 9th, but I'm not 100% sure of that. It's now showing me he's running in 5th. Yep. So there's Ernie Ludwig. Timothy Harper's still on pit road. So they really didn't get a good run there. And it does look like, or exit, and it looks like Dalton Tucker is going to cycle back through to the lead.
Now, how did he do that?
I'm not sure. I thought for sure he was going to be left out to dry essentially with that pit strategy. But he's managed to cycle through to the lead. And for all intents and purposes, he's all alone.
I wonder if Timothy Harper got a speeding penalty. He's been on pit road for a long time.
He must have.
Oh, yeah. And he went off grass.
Ooh, then he might have also gotten a unsafe pit entry or pit exit.
I
Awesome.
don't know if he's given up or what. He's still sitting in his box.
Oh, well, if he did get both an unsafe pit exit and a speeding penalty, that's a long,
Now
long
he's gone.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
probably at least a 50-second hold.
what concerns me now for Dalton Tucker, that pack is coming, and there are a lot of cars in that pack. And well,
We
that
have a
pack
caution.
actually, I believe that was actually that pack that the caution occurred in. Oop, going the wrong way. And it was. I believe I saw Kevin Roy involved in that.
Well, that'll be a break for the 9. He only loses 1 lap. He was about to go 2 laps down before that caution come out.
Absolutely. So we'll have to see what per se happened. I think I went back too far on this replay. But it looks like they were catching Kevin Roy down the backstretch. And it looks like everything's going okay until we get into this group of drivers. He just comes down, it looks like to me. It looks like he had a hard time of holding his line, essentially, and just makes contact with a handful of drivers. I believe it's the 55. Justin White's involved. Blade Timmons gets a little bit of damage, but oh my word.
Yeah, he's holding his way. And I don't know if 55 didn't know he was up there or not, but he definitely swung up and he saw, oh crap, there's a car there. So he swung back down.
Yeah. Huh? I don't know. I will say, from my point of view, it does kind of look like Kevin Roy might have actually got the wall, and then from getting into that wall, it did that usual where it just sends you off down the track, essentially. Well, no, it's a little bit of both, honestly.
I
Now that
can
I,
hear the net code hit.
yeah, so
Watching on board with the 55, I can hear the net code hit with him in the 48.
and that's probably mostly what it was then. It looks to me like it's a net code and a little bit of both. The 55 does come up the track, and the 48 comes down just a tad bit. But that's going to end a few guys' days and make the rest of the stage very, very interesting. All right, so we get this back over. Huh? Whoop. No. Nope. No. You do not need to be. Oh, God. Oh, don't you just love when your timing box just completely messes up for you? There
I
we
did
go.
have a request from one of the drivers for the next race to slow down the ticker a little bit that scrolls across. I guess it was a little fast for his old eyes.
I'm not sure that I can, to be honest.
Yeah, I told him it'd probably be something that'd have to be in a couple test rooms, see if it can be adjusted.
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure that I can. I haven't seen any option for slowing that down.
Well, I don't know if Conover and Bitzer stayed out when everyone else pitted, but now they're only 3 laps down.
Well, and my assumption would most likely be that they did in fact take a wave around.
88 and the 80 took the wave around.
Because I know they wouldn't be eligible for the lucky dog. I'm not sure who that went to. I believe Cody Reeder, maybe. What's interesting, I'm only showing.
We're going to have 26 cars on the lay lap, and we're going to have about a 4 or 5 lap shootout here at the end of the stage.
It's going to be an interesting end of the stage, I believe. Well, they're all double file. It looks like Dalton actually, I didn't even notice this till just now, took the high line.
He
So
did.
that's an interesting move. I'm not sure if that's a team move or what that decision is, because I'm pretty sure I'd go out on a limb and say the two on the bottom are teammates. But yeah, I'm not sure. But he gets a great jump, and he's going to be able to clear down before they get to turn one, whatever it might be. BP falls in line as well. And I think actually, if I'm not mistaken, those are all kind of a team in a way.
One giant affiliation.
Exactly. So everything works out for them. I think it's based on all that. It might be a battle between the affiliates on who gets the stage win.
Yeah, we'll have to see because Martin's not running for points. Jake's not running for points. So who's going to help who?
Right. It might, and it might be hilarious to see what I would assume. Jake pushed BP to try to get past Dalton. Martin pushes Dalton to stay in front of BP. Could be
If they don't
interesting.
make that move fast, they're going to be in trouble. They're not going to have the chance because the outside line's coming.
Absolutely. Once that outside line gets formed up just enough, they'll start coming to the front. And that outside line is being led by Payne Faust and a man we haven't really mentioned today, Corey Wharton. Driving that number 25 Valvoline car. And it's not looking like Jake's going to really have a chance to get up in front of them, so it's going to be up to VP if he wants to make that move. Martin's just going to, I assume, stick with Dalton, maybe push him to try to get that stage win. And we are seeing shades of 2012. The old two-car tandem. Boy, I
They can
wasn't
only
a
do it for
fan.
so long before it overheats.
Absolutely, I was glad when they implemented that bit of the package to make that kind of almost impossible to do. Is Dalton's
Dalton
gonna
with the block,
block to
three
the
wide.
outside?
That was almost a wreck.
Oh, that was insane! It was an insane move, but it works. But you're absolutely right. It was almost a wreck. But, almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, and it worked. So,
That's right. It was crazy, but we didn't die this time. Maybe next time.
absolutely. He's going to get down to the inside, try and pull that line forward. We got a mirror driving Pied Piper SOB in the front.
Yeah, I've raced Dalton plenty of times. He is tough to pass. No matter if you're at super speedway or not. And he can make it real hard on you.
Absolutely. And you can't blame him for wanting to get out there, get this stage win, maybe do this as a little bit of practice for the end of the race. But certainly, you also want to maybe tell them, back it off a little. You and the rest of the field got another 2 stages to make before the end of this thing.
Risk versus reward.
Absolutely. So we're going to see if Corey can't push Payne just back up to the front again. And if Dalton goes for another block, he's inching towards it, but he doesn't. And Payne's going to get to his quarter panel for just a second.
See how this plays out. I know Payne came on the radio. He wasn't too happy about it, but like Dalton said, hey, it's for the stage win, man.
Absolutely.
Around here, half a lap to go. The end of this stage. What line's going to prevail? Looks like there's more action. Oh, no, bottom line split up a little. They're going to lose some energy. I just don't think they're going to have a big enough run unless the 22 car starts overheating.
Oh, whoopsies. I had a little bit of a lag spike moment.
Here we go.
Martin's going to let him back in, but this is now where everything is getting dicey at the end. I believe that's actually the stage, isn't it?
They crossed the line, 0.0000 separation.
Wow. And I believe it went to Dalton.
He's still showing in the lead.
That's what it's showing for me as well.
What a cross the line.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, Alex. I'm going to go ahead and say the thank you.
So that
Alex has sent me an updated ticker or updated package with a slower ticker.
yeah,
So
there we go. Helps to have friends in good places.
absolutely. So I'm not going to get that implemented in for this race because it takes a solid 10 to 15 minutes for me to get the ticker updated and show all the drivers. But we will have that moving forward for any further race. And stage 2 is going to be 74, I believe.
74. Sorry,
Okay, that's what I thought. All
I
right.
messaged someone asking me to unmute them. I'm trying to find out where they are.
There we go. So we are now set. We are lap 38 out of the 74 to get to stage 2, essentially. Ooh, what what a stage. Now, boy,
We
they
saw a
got
little bit of everything.
they got a little crazy there at the end, and in fact, I think I see a little bit of damage back here for somebody. It looks like the old Nationwide car. I think that's Donald Etcher. I think he's supposed to be in the one. It's showing him as he's supposed to be in the one car, but I'm showing the 88. So I'm not really sure what's going on. But that is no longer a NASCAR stock car. That's what we like to call NASCAR modified.
Yeah,
So I'm not really sure what happened there with him, but let's actually get to pit lane 1.
I'm watching pit lane too.
And it
Oh,
looks like it's going to be Mark
car.
McFadden getting out first. 14, Dalton Tucker. I believe that's one of the McKinneys in the 14.
Yes, Cody.
Okay. Wasn't sure which one. Didn't want to say the name without knowing. So I just said one of them. I knew it was one of them.
See some of the back guys here getting some damage fixed. Still sitting on pit road. I believe the 9 car will get the lucky dog.
That
Yeah,
would, yeah. And I
he's
believe
on
I just
pit
saw him
road
come
now.
onto pit road. Yep. I'm not sure if that's a NASCAR modified as well. No, it's okay. It's okay. This camera made it look a little odd, if you would. So it looks like Mark McFadden gonna be our new leader. So a heck of a job by his pit crew. Let me see if I can't
Wonder if
find.
he took fuel only.
Well, he was on pit lane for 28.8 seconds. Cody McKinney was on pit lane for 27.3. Dalton Tucker was on for 33.3. And
Yeah, that sounds
his
like 2-tire versus 4-tire.
and I believe that's exactly what it is because both McFadden and McKinney had a 7.2 stop for Mark McFadden and a 6.0 for McKinney.
Ooh, left sides only, or no tires, maybe fuel only.
Well, Blade Timmons takes the cake of the fastest, or no, actually, I apologize. Uh, Ray Heigl? I'm still not sure on how to pronounce his name. The 5.4.
Woo!
So
I would bet he.
going to be an interesting little bit here as they're going to come back. Lights on the pace truck are off. We're going to go back racing for stage 2. I think we're going to have 33 laps.
About
32?
34. You gotta count the
34?
lap you're on. Yeah, 74 is what we're going to.
Okay.
Wonder if that last caution right before I sprint to the end, Ray didn't come down and get his tires and stuff. So this time by, he just had to fill, top off.
Yeah, that's
That quick to stop.
that would be the way to get the lead For sure.
Almost worked.
Almost. He certainly is, I believe, further up than he was. So we're going to go back green now for stage 2, and nothing on that outside line. That must have been the reaction time of molasses out of that 14 car.
It looked like the first start.
That outside line just did not go there. So Mark McFadden's going to lead.
Trying to get the lead.
Do you expect anything else out of Dalton? I mean, come on. As BP's
drop back.
Yep. You make that decision to just fall out of line and start going to the back. And here comes Dalton Tucker back to the lead. Payne Faust is going to push him there. And Matt hit Matthew George. Whoopsies. I was about to say somebody else.
Jumping out. Get the lead back. He's going to lead this up, looks like.
Yep. And
we know now they can do it on one stop. So I don't think it really matters if you're leading or if you're in the back of the pack. They're all relatively going to have to take the same amount of fuel to make it to the end. Why not go for it?
Absolutely. So I think it's the right call. Certainly, like you said, you can't make it on the end or to the end, any of them from pitting early or anything else. So pit there, get the fuel, and let's race. Try and get some laps led. Stay up here. Maybe you get a stage point out. Maybe it works out for you. Maybe it doesn't.
We did have 6 of 10 finishing on the last stage that were running for points.
All right.
The way they're running right now, we have 8 of 10 in the top 10 right now. So points guys kind of moving their way forward.
Yeah, and I think much like how I ran in the truck race, it's a little more conservative with my decision making for the truck race on trying to get to the end of that race.
Jake Boyer down low.
Mm-hmm. But I know as a points guy in that truck race, I played it very conservative. Didn't end up working out for me, but sometimes you make that decision when it's about your points. You got to make it to the end.
Well, and you got to have a feel of how everyone's racing too. If it looks a little crazy, it's not a bad call. Plus, it's Daytona. You got everywhere else throughout the season you can make up 8 points.
Absolutely. That's certainly the way I looked at it in the truck race, and I'm sure that's the way a lot of these guys are looking at it too.
When I was running last year, that was my mindset: just ride around, keep it clean, be there for the end. Stage points I can make up everywhere else. Wasn't a priority at these plate tracks.
No, and it really can't be. I don't think. I think you risk too much here sometimes.
Especially race 1 of the season.
There's a lot of time
left.
Now, when we come back here in, say, August,
then it'll matter.
It's a little bit of a different story, but right now, first race of the year, you don't need it per se. You got a lot of time.
If it comes down to the end of the year and you miss the chase by 6 points and you think, man, I could have got those at Daytona. No, not really. You could have got it in the other 24 races of the regular season somewhere.
Absolutely. And a few changes, I think, to this year's schedule. I don't know how well they're going to go over for the league, per se, with a lot more road courses.
It's going to be wild.
I know. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to calling it. I know in the other league that I'm in a different league, that they're kind of following real life like they are here too. I'm not really looking forward to running them so much.
Yeah, I love road courses, so I'm looking forward to running them. As for
Timmons making a charge for the lead right now.
Absolutely, and he's got help from
McKinney and Seth Reed on the outside.
And McFadden a little bit all over the place on that bottom line, but he holds on to it. as he's getting a push from the other McKinney.
Looks like Conover got his car fixed. I know being in the draft definitely helps a lot, and you can overcome some damage, but he's with the field now, and he's running pretty good.
Well, I was pretty sure he didn't really have any front end damage from that accident. I think it was mostly rear end and maybe some side, but yeah, he's able to hold with the pack. So I think he's what, 2 laps down now, 3.
He's 3 right now.
So
There's only a car ahead of him who's also with the main pack, Vincent Arthur. He's 1 lap down, and then it goes to Josh at 3 laps down.
Mark McFadden all over the place coming off of 2, and you could see what that caused. It's just this incredible gap between the inside cars.
Man, I'm telling you, I know people don't think tires matter here, but from running these official races, how much the right rear actually does wear out, it can catch you by surprise.
Yeah, and it seems like the Cup cars, it's a lot more prominent than in the trucks.
It never used to be like that. You would always wear out your left front tire, and then with whatever reason, this new package and setup, it wore out the right rear more than anything.
Yeah, it's a challenge for sure. It's going to be a challenge all year long, really, for these guys to keep their tires under them.
Yeah, this new tire model, it's I still haven't figured it out yet, but you got to take care of them somehow and be good on the long run. And whoever does that, Dalton, they're going to be really hard to beat.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong there. So,
Oh no!
McKinney gets turned into the wall, and will we see our second caution as Conover gets collected in yet another incident? Oh, so I continue to go the wrong way, and
Ouch.
we're going to see what happens here.
Looks like the 81 bumps the, who was it, the 18?
The 14.
14. It looks like he bumped him just wrong and it shot him up into the wall. You see him trying to push him. He's on the right rear of the 14 instead of pushing him straight. And that shoots the 14 up into the wall. He saves it, but it accordion bounces the 81 back, and yeah, it's on from there.
Yeah, and just as you were mentioning that it looked like Conover had gotten his damage fixed, the old commentator's curse strikes.
We got to stop talking about him every time we do that
happens. That car, if he didn't have engine damage, I think he does now, as the 24 is going to push his way to the outside, but I believe that's just to try to get a lap back.
Yeah, he's I don't even know what's going on right now. He's sitting on tail end of the lead lap right now.
So, you get in front of that leader. That's your lap back. You get a caution right after that, and boy, you are in business.
You imagine how much more salt that would be to Josh's wounds if that 24 was leading this pack and the caution come out.
Absolutely, because then he'd be only 2 laps down. So, that'd be heartbreaking. Oh, 24 just about wipes the 9 out with a late dive to the inside.
That was bad.
That was
that looseness we've been talking about.
That was an interesting choice, though, too, to try and clear yourself down like that across somebody's nose. I mean, it was blatantly clear. They're losing speed on that outside. They couldn't hack it on the outside anymore. But boy, certainly, I don't think the 8 of Ernie Ludwig is too thrilled about that move. We've ended up with a bunch of different packs now, I think. McKinney's are working together. We've got all of, I think, 8 cars in this lead pack, maybe. 2, 4.
Yeah, 8 with a lapper, so 9.
Yep. Yeah, it's
secondary pack from about 9th to 22nd.
That's going to be interesting to see if this secondary pack can catch back up. I know they weren't exactly close to the front pack. They had given themselves a bit of a gap, but they were a lot closer than they are now.
Well, you got Dalton took pushing, so they're going to be going fast. And I think they're going to get the back end of the McKinney boys draft here in a second. That's just going to pull them right up to this main pack.
Absolutely, and it looks like actually the McKinneys are on the lead pack now.
Yeah, they chopped a second off that last lap. Pretty soon, they might even be in it now in the draft window. I think they are. They're going to be coming hard and fast. If they keep this momentum up, they can jump to the outside and take it all the way up to the front.
Well, certainly what's going to help Shane and company, that second pack, they got the 4 car to grab some draft off of, kind of slingshot themselves past him, and then maybe get that little bit of extra speed to go up and run down that extra or that front pack. And they're closing. They're going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
there probably within a lap.
McKinney was doing 190 off of 4, and Dalton Tucker and Shane were doing 196.
Yeah,
They're there.
they are there. I said within a lap. They said hold my beer and watch 500 feet.
Now, we went back green about lap 41, so we know they can go somewhere around 64, 65 before pitting. I wonder if that's going to be the call, because that's only going to leave them about 10 laps to go at the end of the stage. Oh boy, what's going to happen here? 3
Oh
wide.
boy. Yep, because they were not about to let the 88 just come up and block that run entirely. And we actually have some takers for pit road. I believe that's Roy Crump and uh, Timothy Harper. As Ernie Ludwig actually does, in fact, jump up in front of Shane and Dalton Tucker. And I'm a little surprised they didn't try and force the issue there. With as fast as they were coming, certainly you lose a lot of speed. Oof, excuse me, a little bit of the hiccups. But you lose a lot of speed when a car just pulls out in front of you like that. Oof. But the question now is how much longer? We saw 2 cars hit pit road. We're not really sure why. Certainly, it has to be a strategy play, you would think.
Yeah, about to go a lap down.
Yeah, I don't even know that. I mean, obviously they're in the fuel range to make it to the end of the stage, but they haven't been out there but for maybe 17 laps, I think.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Maybe even less than that.
Let me see if I can't find out their last pits. Yeah.
Oh,
They're,
there
they're,
goes the leader. They're running too wide. This is bad.
oh my word! And they're too wide behind them, which makes it even worse. But everybody's going to be able to somehow figure this out, get single file, and wow, that is incredible on the leaders to make it through that. That was a interesting decision to say the least by the 5 and the 9.
Yeah. Understandably so. The drivers come over the radio. They're not too happy with those 2 guys. I get it. Man, that was bad. That was wild.
Absolutely. That could have been a lot worse than it was. And a big credit to all the guys in that lead pack for being able to single file themselves out and kind of snake their way through where they had to.
Absolutely. They did a great job getting around them. And we don't have a rule in place where they have to designate going to a certain line. We tell them just to hold it. But man, you think just a little common courtesy, they would have both gone to the same direction. You see
And
the 6 now.
and he might be in a terrible spot as he's actually locks it up. And I don't know that he made it down cleanly, but number 2, he gets out into the grass. So we'll have to see. We'll have to pay attention on that one. But he's also in a terrible spot because he pitted by himself. I didn't see
There's
anybody
one
else
thing
come
you
down.
don't want to do with that. There is someone else on pit road.
Well, we better hope that he can work with them because you do
Seth Reed
not.
pit with him.
No, Seth Reed is on the pit road for the damage.
So he's not going to get much help from him.
Nope, because he was the incident earlier that Josh was involved in. He was the one that
Correct.
started that incident. So that's an interesting decision to come down by yourself.
We'll see how it plays out. If everyone else doesn't pit this time by, it's going to be bad for him because the more laps they run in under draft, the more time he's going to be losing.
Absolutely. As in fact, there is Shane Reed out in front, and while he might have a damaged race car, I thought to myself while we were in practice, I looked at that and I went, and I think Chad Engel said the same thing. I didn't realize Susie was racing. I thought he was race control. So it was a bit of a weird moment seeing a car out there with an 81 and you not being in it.
Yeah, tell me about it. Every time I see it, I get a little deja vu and think, why am I not driving that?
Yeah, I get it. I get that.
See how Jeff Gordon and Clint Boyer feel when they look out on the field nowadays.
Yeah, I think Jeff's gotten used to it. Clint, it might take a little while.
I fully expect Blade to go a lap down here, probably by the time they cross start finish line.
And
Maybe even a little
that's
before that.
and that's
He'll
the
blend in with the field, but he needs it to stay green until everyone else pits.
yeah, and even then it's really a challenge because instead of coming around to pass those guys for position, he's just when they pit, he's just getting his lap back.
Yeah, and all this time, these 3-4 laps he's been out there, he's been losing time. So even when they do pit, one, they're going to take less fuel than he did, and two, they've been turning faster laps. So that gap on your in-out lap is going to be massive.
Absolutely. Let me see if I can't find it so we can have some comparison once these guys do come down. Blade Timmons with a 33.8 lane time. So
I'm
that
not
was
even
how long.
worried about that. I'm just worrying about the up to speed and riding those laps by himself.
As here comes
He's been running 48
Payne
ones, and Lee's been running
Faust.
45s.
Payne Faust and Ernie Ludwig come together.
Pretty
So,
wide pass. Almost had
oh man, what a move! What a move to get through there. They all make it through. That was a scary moment there. But now it's like you said, Blade will catch on. He's still in the draft. He's where he needs to be.
6 just got hammered into the inside wall trying to pit. It looks like he slowed down. He wasn't even really off the surface. He was still straddling that yellow line. You cannot be riding there.
No, you cannot. That's just trying to turn too hard. And here comes three more cars. It's going to be Mark McFadden, Vincent, and the 88. And I believe just Mark and the 88 that are on the lead lap. There goes one of the McKinney's. There's the other one. And they're the leaders go by Payne Faust. So you could see what has helped Blade Timmons is that he is in this lead pack. He's gotten around Payne Faust. So maybe this will end up being okay for him.
I'm not sure, man. As much time as he gave up riding solo, I just don't see how.
Well, that's certainly going to be interesting from here. Certainly, what's helping him probably is that these guys aren't pitting as a big group. So we see Payne Faust out behind him now. It's a huge difference. Roy Crump's a lap down as well, but I don't believe he's pitted yet. No, he has pitted. That's correct. Him and the 9 have already pitted. They're both. That entire outside line actually is a lap down.
How crazy is that?
Yep. So we'll see. I think this is going to be Dalton and Shane coming in here. More than likely, they're going to be joined by what looks like Chad Engel, and I'm not sure if that's Boyer or Plute. I think that's Plute. Yes. So now, what will be interesting is to see how these guys compare to Blade Timmons and the 9. And it looks like actually, in fact, just in front of them it has worked out in favor of Ernie Ludwig, James Love, and Mark McFadden, as they've come out far in front of Blade Timmons.
Yeah, I figured with that cycle time, he was giving up about 3 seconds a lap running solo. I just thought there was no way he would be able to pull that off.
And Shane Weinmiller and Dalton Tucker are already in turn 2. They have exited pit road already.
As
So,
little fuel as possible to make it to the end of the stage.
and that's all you need. You just got to make it to the end of the stage. So they've got each other, and that's really all you need there.
All I would have made, run it almost as dry as I can, take as little fuel as possible, no tires. Get that stage caution, I'll get my 4 tires then.
Now, what's interesting to me is that Cody Reeder in 29 is still out there. He's on his 27th lap. And I'm not sure if that's tires or to his last pit stop. I think that's just on tires.
I mean, he's probably been saving this whole time on fuel. We figured, 24 to 28 laps, maybe.
Well, I don't see him making it to the end of the stage. That's going to be a tough ask, especially with him leading just 2 cars.
I would be highly surprised if we didn't pit this time.
So Shane Weinmiller, Dalton Tucker get out very far in front. And it's Martin Plute, Chad Engel. They're trying to get teamed up. And then the whole hornet's nest of a pack. You can see it just behind.
Here comes Cody Reeder on a pit road. What paint scheme do you see him in, by the way?
I see him in a 24.
I do too. That is not his number.
No, it is not. Nope. Thank you. I wanted to see the actual view. Thank you so much for that. As there's the look back view. And boy, that's certainly not what you want to see. Getting run up like that for Chad. But we'll see if he can't turn this into a good stage, essentially. In fact, it's just Mark McFadden that gets around him. He's actually able to hold second in that pack. He's going to get around Martin Plute now, and Martin's just going to
oh boy,
up to the outside. There goes the 9. That should be a caution, you would assume. But, iRacing.
iRacing said, nope, you guys are going to the stage.
Boy, something needs to be done here, iRacing, because some of these are getting absolutely ridiculous. As I finally find the 9. We'll see if we can't find out what happened there.
James Love just comes down and bounced off the 9 and shot the 9 down into the apron and then back up the track.
Yep. And it was really kind of isolated to just the 9 getting damage.
But yeah, he got doored 88. They're coming up on Martin to cycle him into the group, and the 88 just turned way too far left, bounced off the 9.
And Cody Reeder just pulls out of the way of the lead, or the secondary group. He's back to 3rd now officially, as Shane Weinmiller has gotten around him.
4th, 5th, 6th.
Yep, he's just going backwards. He was all by himself.
Oh no!
Oh my word! And once again, iRacing just says, go to the stage.
Wow, what did I just see?
Oh my word. So it does look like the 00 gets into that where you don't want a push point, and the 24 goes for a ride. Wow, I actually want to do the nose cam on that one, because boy, oh boy. This gets turned to the outside, and away we go. Wow. So that very, Very interesting there. And we continue to have iRacing just decide, no. You think you need the caution, but you don't. Actually, did it throw the caution? Or am I behind on what stage it is? Nope.
That was the stage caution.
Okay, so that was in fact the stage caution. But I guess it did in fact throw caution. Because it doesn't really show for me when it does it right. I'm not really sure why it doesn't show it to me. I have to go in and do it myself because it used to do it automatically, but ugh. So that was in fact a caution thing. All right. And Dalton's going to come in. That's going to be a late move to get down to pit road, but certainly one that works. And we'll see what that results in for everybody else. So who's going to be in and out first? I believe this is the 4 coming out, and I know he is not on the lead lap, so he is not of importance to us, essentially. And it's going to actually be, I believe, Jake Boyer just slightly beating out Dalton Tucker. And actually see if I can't go back and apply. Yep, let's see if we can't see this. As they come off of pit road, who gets to the cone first? And it is Jake Boyer by just a small margin. Jake Boyer is going to lead us out of stage 2.
Got a lot more cars sitting there getting damage fixed. This is last stage have been hard on people.
Absolutely, it has. So we're waiting on the scoring box to pop back up. Come on.
Well, we know it's pretty simple now here. It's go to the end. No more worrying about stages.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are going to get 2, maybe 3. No, I think well, maybe 3. Depends how much fuel they save. Stops.
Yeah,
We're going
it's
to
gonna
go
be
here 75, looks like.
it's gonna
And
be
that'll be
interesting.
75, 76 laps to go. We know their window is somewhere from 24 to 28. So we got at least 2 stops.
All right. Well, for whatever reason, my scoring box doesn't want to show up anymore.
You got Roy Crump right now in first, Jake Boyer in second, Dalton Tucker in third, Shane Weinmiller in fourth, Chad Engel in fifth, James Love in sixth, Zach Howell in seventh, Brian Powell in eighth, Matthew George in ninth, and Cody Reeder in 10th. That is your top 10 coming to the restart of this final stage.
All right. Well, 10-4. We're just gonna go with the that because that works. Whatever works to get us to our destination of 150 laps. That's what it's gonna be. For whatever reason, the normal scoring box doesn't want to work for me. So we found a way around it, and we are still showing the laps. So I don't care at this point. You gotta love it. Technology sometimes it's your best friend and it's your worst friend. Got one.
There we go, back green. Good jump for the bottom.
Oh, and I guess I was not live. I thought I was. But we are live now again. And as you said, good jump by the bottom. Roy Crump's going to get out there in front. But Dalton Tucker is going to go with, it looks like, his
Old
affiliate.
teammate there, Nick Boyer. Might as well say it.
Yeah, and so did Chad go with that group as
So did
well.
Wine Miller. Choo choo, baby.
And Roy Crump might have taken the lead, but it's not going to last any longer than that restart. These boys hooked up and said, as you said, choo choo. We got a lot of pretty banged up race cars throughout this field. There's been a lot of wrecks, to be honest. A lot more than I thought there would be. A lot less cautions too, compared to how many wrecks.
Welcome to Daytona.
Yeah, welcome to Daytona and iRacing. Let's be fair. Pretty much every one of those wrecks, NASCAR would have said, and that's a caution.
Oh, absolutely. But we know how iRacing works. If they get off the racing surface, it never happened in iRacing's eyes.
Well, and I do kind of want to diverge from it as they've gotten into that single file a little bit. What has been reported a little bit on the forums is that there is between the front stretch and turns 1 and 2, it seems like if there's a wreck there, iRacing just doesn't want to throw a flag under any circumstance at times. And it's been a noted problem where it's just kind of like it just keeps happening. So I'm not sure what it is. If it is a bug,
These boys trying to run the junior line right now?
I think they are.
What in the world? That's never going to work.
Well, it's somewhat working.
Oh, get you some cars on the bottom. That'll go away real fast.
Well, the problem is I don't think the bottom, I hate to say it, but I don't think the bottom wants to go with the car that is on the bottom.
There comes the 18. Now the 88's going to follow him.
And now the junior line is going to see its days run, of course.
It just does not work on iRacing like it does in real life, building up that speed. And actually, with the aerodynamics the way they are now, where you can get that little bit of wall air off the wall to help your car turn, that actually increases your drag at these plate tracks, so it'll slow you down.
Which is hilarious because it does the exact opposite in real life. You gotta love iRacing's physics sometimes, but you also can't beat it for the most part. There's not a simulator I think out there that can beat it.
I'll tell you what, though, at least they tried it. Gotta give them that.
Yeah, that's besides the truck race when we were in the back group. That's the first time I've seen leaders get up there and use the junior line.
Hey, boys, let's ride around on the bottom this whole time. Oh, let's try the top now. It's something different. Spice it up a little bit.
I think part of that could have been because I believe Matthew George is a part of that team affiliation teammate thing. I think a good bit of that decision was they jumped up high to try to get Matt into that high line and get him around Roy Crump. And then they just kind of stuck there.
Yeah, could be. Who knows how these guys are working behind the scenes in their team channels right now.
Absolutely.
I mean, we saw in the truck race, the top 3 guys were all on the team, and they lockstepped away from everyone else. It was boring as hell, but it was effective.
Yeah, absolutely. We're hoping it's not going to be that boring the rest of the season, but you know. I mean, I'm kind of hoping for it next week.
SHR cars are a couple years back at Dega, and the 4 of them just hooked up and whomped on the field.
Or Toyota. before all the manufacturer stuff started, and Toyota was the only one doing it. And they were just leading the 500 all race long.
I understand the reason behind it, but man, is it boring to watch. I sat there and watched that truck broadcast, and I was like, oh man, shoot me, someone wreck. Thankfully, we haven't had that issue tonight, and it doesn't look like we're gonna, so fingers crossed. We'll see how this plays out.
So we're looking at approximately 2 to 3 pit stops in this stage. Well, that could be a big factor.
Yeah, and the one I'm worried about right now is Jake leading this whole time. He's got to be full throttle. We saw them pit as early as 24. Were they pitting that early for break it in half, or were they pitting that early because that's as long as you can go leading the pack?
Absolutely, and we don't
But
know. We're not talking to them on
by
that
that
subject.
math, they're going to have to pit 3 times. That'll be 72 laps. I'm pretty sure we went green with 76 to go, so they're going to be 4 or 5 laps short.
Yeah, and we see
As
Chad
we see
Angle
Chad drop back.
drop. Yep. So it'll be interesting to see what the strategy there is out of these guys. All these guys up front, and actually that affiliate group is taking up all 4 spots on the front here, kind of trying to make
Well,
it
and
so nobody
that's
can
the
get around
only
them.
blessing. That's the only blessing they have right now: strength in numbers. They can
Mm-hmm.
afford to make this work out because they can all just pit together and stay strong. I know if I was say the 58 or the 13, I'd just be riding behind them right now, 3/4 throttle, saving fuel. I only want to pit twice. Now, my only downfall is if someone else or no one else around me is on that same strategy. We already saw what happened to the 6 when he pit all by himself and how much time he lost.
I believe he's now kind of pretty much a non-factor in the whole race. I believe he got into an incident because of it.
Yeah, he is no longer with us. He parked the car behind the garage.
Yep. So that's the problem you do when you do pit by yourself. Okay, well you were able to get back into the pack, but now you're in what we call the hornet's nest. That's the last place you want to be. You don't want to be in that hornet's nest.
I'd love to be sitting right now somewhere around Briscoe or Brad Powell.
Giving yourself a good bit of
You got
room
time to
there.
react and still save fuel. I did
Mm-hmm.
hear the 5 with his always weird pit strategy. He's coming in this time. I wonder if anyone's coming with him.
Now that's pretty much guaranteeing that you want to go 3 stops then, because that's so early.
Yeah, you have to stretch it if you don't want to do 3.
I
I'm
just
not sure what the mindset is. I don't know if he didn't get it full of fuel because he was our leader on that last.
And that
Uh,
could be it. He
he
stayed
might have
out
stayed out.
on yeah, he stayed out on the stage, so it actually not taken tire. Yeah, he couldn't have went any further. He was 28 laps on a stint.
Yeah. So I'm not. He needs to get a new crew chief. We'll see that first. This is going to cost him.
Yeah, that's a I don't agree with that strategy because now he's going to be a lap down, and if we don't get a caution, he's off cycle. He's going to go lap down every time he has to do that. It's just I don't know. I don't think that's the play call here. That might be a play call at other tracks, but it ain't going to work at Daytona. And quite frankly, I don't think it's going to work pretty much anywhere else, as he's lapped before he even leaves pit road.
Yeah, he was on there for quite a while. I don't know if he was fixing damage or he had a penalty, but yeah, that hurts.
It's a
He was
bold strategy.
riding. Now he's 19th lap down.
It's a bold strategy, and it usually doesn't work out.
Well, the only blessing he has right now is he's the only car 1 lap down. It looks like Cody McKinney is or has lost the draft, so it'll be a little while before they catch him. He's actually coming up on the back of Roy right now. Uh, but yeah, that's not sitting good. And Roy's gonna need a caution.
Yeah, and I have to assume these guys up front aren't trying to do anything to cause a caution.
Well, say that, but they're still running side by side for the lead.
Yeah, but I think they are giving them each other a lot more room than you would see later in the race. As Dalton says, you're wrong. We're not giving any room. Are they watching this?
I'm sure someone's got it going in the background on their phone or something.
Because they're coming up on 2 slow cars up in front of them. So a little bit of lap traffic to deal with. Well, and I think Dalton mostly when he's moving out of line like that, getting closer to the outside line, that's him searching
Whew.
for air.
Yeah, the lap cars picked the line this time, so that was nice. Oh no, they did. What's that poor car
Oh
doing?
my God! Come on, boy, hold your line. Woo.
I just had a heart attack for these boys. I'm not even behind the
And
wheel.
that moment, I think, was enough for Matthew George. He said, "Okay, we're done here to the bottom line. Let's just ride."
These boys just need to ride and settle it on the last 20 laps. Holy.
Yeah, that was a scare moment. And Payne Faust out there all by himself. He's got no help. That I don't know that was the decision to jump out of line like that. Well, now he's got
He
help.
ought to get the memo. Say, hey, we're riding on the bottom.
So, well, we'll have to see how this plays out. And not sure who that is. There's another lap car coming out of pit road that looks like Mark McFadden getting back out on the racetrack. Looked like he did not have a rear bumper cover, which, as we know in NASCAR, is illegal. So, a little bit different case in iRacing. They don't always fix that.
It's still there. It's just see through.
Exactly. They put a see-through bumper on it. So we get into what many people consider the boring portion of the race. It's a little bit difficult for broadcasters at time because, well, there's not a whole lot to report on. We're single
No,
file.
but it is a smart thing to do.
No, it absolutely is, and I would never blame a driver for wanting to be single file. Certainly, it's going to keep you safe. It's
The
going to
game
keep
is
the car.
played up here.
Yeah, I almost have to wonder if Dalton's trying to draw that 88 to go up to the high line and get
But I was gonna say,
and get Shane to fall in underneath him to get him to pass him.
we Shane working with Dalton all race long. I think he was trying to sucker that 88 up.
Yeah, and there's games to be played. Oh, he's leaving a big enough gap. I don't know that you want to do that. You certainly don't want to leave a gap a car width apart. I see actually the 88 just blinked out of existence and he is back. Boy, I love internet. We're coming up on the 81 again. He's going to hold
He's
that
being
outside line.
man staying high. I hate seeing that 81 car being back there though.
He was doing all right up until the incident.
It's good. He's gonna be cursed all year because I'm up here in the booth.
To be fair, I feel like I'm doing the same thing to Keegan, so don't feel bad.
That car's not gonna run good without me behind the wheel, and by damn it, I'm gonna stick behind that.
As Jake Boyer, I
It's
think,
like,
is doing the smart decision. You can see Shane's going to let him in. Yeah.
yeah, he needs to save some fuel. I think he finally got to the point where he realized, this is not good.
Yep. So now Dalton's going to be in the same boat, unless he wants to maybe do the same thing.
Well, he might have been saving this whole time. It's hard telling.
Yeah, and certainly if he's been saving this whole time, he can now get out and lead, and they will probably come out about the same spot to where they need to pit anyway.
It's tough, man. It's tough trying to regulate that pace and save fuel. It's not easy to do.
Yep. They say race car drivers aren't athletes, but I beg to differ on that statement every time. These guys are usually pretty athletic. Save for a few of them, they're pretty out of shape. Um, Tony Stewart comes to mind for sure.
Oh, expensive.
Yeah, there's a few of them, but I'll tell you what, they might be big, but they can manhandle a car, and that does take a lot of force.
That's right.
And then on top of that, you got to be smart enough to know what you're doing. Obviously, your crew chief is going to help you out, but you got to know what you're doing in that race car still. So there's a lot of chess being played by the drivers. There's a lot of chess being played by the crew chiefs. But in this particular case, the crew chief and the driver are one and the same.
Yeah, that's right. And that is the one big advantage to being on a team or aligning yourself with a satellite team. You guys can bounce ideas off each other. I know that was kind of my role within our team last year. I was kind of the strategist person. Um, which is fun sitting up here and kind of laughing at these guys internally and wondering what they're doing, saying, "Why aren't they doing this?" Well, I'm not down in there in the room telling them what to do, but it's fun to watch. And if you're on a one or two man team, you can definitely be at a disadvantage coming to that strategy.
Absolutely. Is here we go with my hurt feelings on the outside
Oh,
there
don't
on
look!
my
Don't
team. Nah, I don't want to look.
look! Real quick.
But you can see just a bit of rear damage, and I honestly would have to say probably uh, some
And he had
slight
some
engine.
poker.
Yeah, I mean they're just so far down on power. It looks like I know that lead pack is going to be much faster, but even two cars can maintain a decent speed.
And I know 55, 56. Sorry, he got some damage too.
Hmm. So
You can definitely tell Jake's trying to save now. He's usually maintaining about 1 to 2 car length gap on the back of that 88 car. So he's trying to maintain three-quarter throttle. And the position he's in, that's honestly a lot harder to do if you're not fifth, sixth, seventh on back. I noticed that in the NIS race. But if that 12 car is willing to work with him and stay near his rear end, that'll help aero push him so he's not too slow and he can maintain that three-quarter throttle.
and that's the advantage of that car being behind you, somebody you can communicate with.
He's got 2 cars behind him. I don't think they're gonna pull out on him anytime soon. They're willing to sit there and just ride behind, arrow push him forward, make sure he doesn't slow him up too much, and he's able to maintain only running three-quarter throttle. He doesn't have to go back to full throttle to catch back up to the front 2 guys.
Absolutely. So
But I really like where the 18's sitting right now, and anyone on back behind him, that's still in this draft, they're just sitting there saving fuel. That's what you gotta do.
yeah, I think the guy to watch out for maybe in this group, Matthew George.
He's sneaky, man, when it comes to these plate tracks. He's there at the end usually. He's sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
Happy to see Martin's still in this group. He got clobbered under that last caution. I don't know how much damage he got, but he's able to maintain in the draft, so must not have been too horrible.
Yeah, and that's kind of the key there. If you
Oh,
can,
here we go. 93's pitting. We got
oh,
100, or not 100. Woo, scaring myself here. 52 laps to go.
listen, we almost have 102 laps to go, but we ain't doing the full race.
Yeah, got a little checkup here. We'll make sure no one gets run over.
And if the 93's coming, I'm expecting everybody else, and it's a fake out again.
A couple guys pit from the back.
But he didn't come. So that's it seems like the second time around it didn't have as much appeal to the rest of the group.
Guys that pitted though, they might not be too happy.
Yeah, they probably thought, oh, we're going to be able to do really well with this. Oh boy, Keegan, I guess thought they were going to go high. They wanted to stay low. That was an interesting decision there, and I'm not sure how that applies into the yellow line rule. I know it's not for position, but I'm
I
not.
feel for Payne and Ludwig here, and looks like Ray. The other guys that pit
Mhm.
early, they got faked out. I think that's going to put them in a bad position.
Yeah, they have three cars, but I don't know that three cars is going to be enough.
Well, they're going to have
Although,
to run real hard, and that's going to hurt them. They're not going to be able to save. If they don't catch this pack after they pit, that's going to put them in a real bad position.
absolutely, and certainly, and I don't even know if they're formed up as the lead group is coming down pit road now. Here comes Dalton, Jake, James Love, Weinmiller, George, the whole pretty much everybody in this group is one of those flatline affiliate teams. Is Weinmiller really sends that thing into his pit box and he missed it? Oh, you can't be having that on money stops. That is going to hurt Weinmiller. I think everybody else looks like they're going to be okay here, but certainly not what you want to see from Weinmiller. As here comes Crump, and he's of course going to take the lead here, I believe.
Zach Howell and Ray are going into turn 1 right now. Looks like they will merge, so they're going to get lucky here. The problem is they're definitely going to have to fuel save.
Absolutely, and we're seeing showing Cody Reeder as your current leader again. So it looks like once again he's on a different stretch, staying out as far as he can go. And he is still in the wrong car. So, it is what it is.
After these boys, Dalton Tucker is way ahead of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What I really want to see is how bad that hurt Shane Weinmiller.
He's still with the pack. He's still got guys.
Okay, so he lucked out then, I think. Certainly,
Cody Reed's the last pit out of our leaders. We'll see if he can manage to get with the draft to everyone. If not, then his saving fuel is going to cost him.
Well, Sean Briscoe's. I was say Sean Briscoe managed to make it out in front of these guys. So
yeah, and Cody's going down into 1 right now on the access road.
Now I don't know if he's going to luck out because they're all coming now. Actually, in fact, Dalton Tucker's already gotten around Sean Briscoe. He's back to 5th at this point, and here comes Tucker. And goodbye.
Crazy. I don't know what happened to everyone else. If they had a stack up at the end of pit road or whatever, Dalton got out of there way ahead of them.
Yeah, Dalton was just perfect on his stop for sure. I think he was better getting in, better getting off. When I look at,
he's going to for these guys though, so he might be sitting in a good position. He saved a lot of fuel compared to everyone else.
Absolutely. I mean, sitting at the back of the group, that's what it can do for you. Certainly, looking at the lane time, Dalton Tucker and Matthew George pretty much equal getting through pit road. How long they were stopped in their box and whatnot, the 31.6 and the 31.8. So, while on pit road, they're pretty well even, but it looks like, I guess, the outlap for Dalton Tucker just better. He's going to come up here and give a little bit of a push to Roy Crump. Interesting. I don't know if this is we're going to wait for George move or what this decision is.
Well, help get him up to speed. Now he's getting a little bit of fuel with his riding. He knows he's going to get caught anyway. Why not sit behind the guy, save a little bit of fuel? You've been out there wide open, no help.
Okay. Now, that. Sorry. That does make some sense there, saving that fuel.
Oh, 48 cars popped his motor, looks like. So the big losers on this maybe looks like they might catch the draft. I was starting to get a little worried, Chad Engel and Joseph McKinney, but looks like they have caught the back end of this pack. But Martin Plout, he's going to lose the draft. 47 car lost the draft. 40 Wortman, he's lost the draft. Not good for these guys. They need something.
And Martin's all by himself.
With as few cars we have on lead lap, they're going to be just riding. I don't see a caution coming out till the end, and by that point, it's probably going to be too late for these three. They're going to go lap down.
Absolutely, and we were focusing on Roy Crump earlier with the very interesting pit strategy, and you can see he's third car here, but he's
still a lap.
Yeah, he's a lap down now. So that pit strategy, I don't think that's going to work because now when it cycles through the next time, if all holds steady, he's not going to just be one lap down. He's going to be two.
He's going to have to pit an extra time compared to everyone else. If I was them, though, I would not be leading this. I'd be putting Roy right in the front of us, and I'd be letting him lead. Everyone else saving fuel off him.
In other words, what Dalton Tucker's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I have to agree, and I have to think that when Matthew George finally decides, it's probably isn't the spot where I want to be right now. He'll probably get over the radio and radio Dalton, hey, you wanna let me in so we can save some fuel?
Well, I'm giving you. We're on lap coming to 108 right now. So looks like we have 43 to go. Who's your pick? Who you got? Who you put your money on?
Oh, it's hard to go against
Yeah.
Dalton. I know how good he is, but I think Matt's gonna figure this out. He can't lead for too long, and even if he does, I think he might still be all right. We'll have to see, but I think Matthew George gets it done for the Daytona 375.
I like it. Hey, yeah, it's gonna be really hard to beat Dalton. He's just always puts himself in a very good position. He's fast. But hey, no one saw Michael McDowell happening, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna go on an oddball. I'm gonna throw one out for my Northeast homie, and I'm putting my money on Chad Engel.
All right, Chad Engel definitely. I would have to say is the Michael McDowell of the crew, if you would. So definitely the pick there. That's going to be an interesting one. But as we noted in the Daytona 500, anything can happen, and Chad's at least in the right pack.
That's right. It's gonna be hard. He is in a good position, but you can't make any mistakes on pit road. He doesn't have any margin of error right now running at the back of this pack. I'd feel a little bit better if he was fourth or fifth. You have a slight mistake, slide through your box or something. At least at that point, you'd be able to stay on the back end of the pack. But if you already come in on the backside and you make a mistake, that's just instant death. So here's hoping, fingers crossed. I want to see him do good. You never know what's going to happen. I don't expect them to get racy until the end. At that point, looks like we got a lot of friends up front, so it might not even come down to a wreck. It's going to be hard to tell, though. Like I said, it's Daytona. Who knows what's going to happen?
Absolutely, it's for the lack of a better word, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen a couple of guys get right rear pushed, wrecked. That could easily happen. You know, uh, who knows? James Love could right rear dump Matthew George and take out the next six guys, and all of a sudden Chad goes from 12th to sitting in fourth. Provided he makes it through the wreck.
Oh, I mean, just to harken back to real life, who would have expected Michael McDowell to give such a shot to Brad Keselowski that it manages to wreck two of the Penske cars?
Actually, he got three because Austin Cindric got caught up in that too.
Oh, he almost bowled a perfect strike if it wasn't for the fact that the other one was out of the race on lap 16. Oh, I didn't even know that. Actually, I did. I forgot that more so. Boy, and while we do have the moment while they're all kind of single file, I just want to say, how about the safety innovation from NASCAR?
Oh, absolutely. If that wreck has Roy Crump is pitting here, so he's definitely gonna have to pit one more time. That's unfortunate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if that wreck would happen 15, maybe 10, maybe 10, probably more along the lines of 15, 20 years ago, and someone would have been seriously hurt or maybe even killed. That was scary.
Absolutely. I was surprised to see everybody walk away uh, unharmed. Even that wreck was so scary that I almost assumed, oh God, we've got another Ryan Newman situation. As I'm not sure what I just saw in the background, but it was the 18 nose into the wall.
Yeah, he is. I'm gonna take a peek back here, see what happened.
So it looks like he's just kind of riding along, minding his own business. He comes up, the 00 comes down, they make contact, and wow. All right. Well,
They just met in the middle.
that's interesting. They both just came together. Well, it's just a racing incident. There's not much there to take away from that, honestly. That's definitely not the way you want to end your day as one of the lead guys. But I think you mentioned that Corey Wharton needed some help. He lost the draft earlier, and here he is now a lap down. So he was in that lead pack before pit stops, and you can see what's happened. Him and Ernie Ludwig, I believe they were both in that lead pack before pit stops, and they're both now one lap down after that.
Yeah, Corey's a lap down, and who's the other one we're looking for?
Ernie Ludwig in the 8.
Ernie's 2 laps down.
Okay, so he was already a lap down then.
Yep. So they just got caught out bad with the pit strategy. And you can see what happens.
Absolutely.
We got Justin White. He's going to be next in line. He's running 48 ones, and the leaders are running 46 twos. So 2 seconds a lap. Give him another 5-6 laps. He's going a lap down.
Absolutely.
Martin Plute's out there all by himself. He's in the same deal. Give him 7-8 laps. He's going a lap down. We're going to be down to 12 on the lead lap.
Yeah, and you will get that with a green flag. You know, there's just it happens. You know, you get the green flag stop, somebody makes a mistake, boom, you're out of the draft. Boom, now you're a lap down. It happens that quickly.
Yeah, that's the blessing and the curse of this restrictor plate style racing or tapered spacer racing, whatever you want to call it. It's not like at an oval track, Atlanta or something. You make a little mistake, you lose 2 seconds on the racetrack, and you're all right. You're only losing 2 seconds. Here, you lose that draft, that 2 seconds turned into a lap in no time.
Absolutely, and I know it's a little bit more like plate racing with the trucks at certain tracks, but the Cup Series, even the Cup Series has started to become a little more plate racy at some of the 1.5s, at least for the first 5-10 laps of a stage.
Yeah, I cannot wait for this new car to come out. I don't have too high expectations, but if they can just fix the racing, I'll be happy. I know it's probably going to take a couple tweaks, but they need to do something, man. This whole follow the leader and the leader just blocks your air and you can't do nothing. It is stupid.
Yeah, and what got me was, you know, the driver's talking about during the 500 or after the 500 that it wasn't so much we were running the high line and staying single file that all that time to stay safe. It was, I think it was Chase Elliott who said it. We just couldn't go to the low line and make a pass.
No, and at these plate tracks, they get that momentum build up so much on the top side. You jump down low and you're just a sitting duck.
And it doesn't matter how many cars they have on the bottom line with this package. They could pile up 10, 15 cars on that bottom line, and it wasn't doing anything. Honestly, it sucks. Nobody wants to watch them run single file for all that time. And I get, out of safety, sure, but I'm sure a lot of those guys wanted to start making it double file with 10 to go, not the last lap.
But I think what really hurt them more than anything is the big wreck on lap 15. Took out a lot of cars. That's a lot of momentum and energy that can be generated in the pack to try to make it too wide going for the lead. I just didn't have that horsepower there. We got a breakaway going on right now.
Yeah, the front group cars opening up a bit of a gap, and I don't know if that's being caused by Ernie Ludwig maybe being a little damaged. Maybe that's why he's 2 laps down. But he's certainly kind of the catalyst there as the lead car in that second group.
Well, see the not anymore. Car, he's making a decision. Hey, 29. He's on the wrong paint scheme. I cannot afford to be suckered here and lose that front 4. But if these boys behind him don't get all together, they're all going to lose front pack.
As they're dealing with a whole bunch of lappers now. As they're coming up on Martin Plute.
Looks like 29 made the smart decision here. He's going to tuck in behind the 47, try to push him up to the leaders.
The leaders all go high. Martin holds his line bottom, and everybody gets around him cleanly. And we just want to note that while you see 5 cars in this lead pack, only 4 of them matter. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean that only 4 of those cars are scoring in the top 5. The 25 car is a lap down.
Oof. Martin holding that bottom line really hurt that second pack. He
And I
didn't do
think
anything wrong, but that killed their momentum there. They lost the draft now, those front 5.
that was the old plan for that affiliated team, with 2 of them leading that front group.
Well, it's
As
hard to say because they got 3 or 4 of those guys in that second pack too. You wouldn't think that would be intentional, but you never know.
and you get a bit of a gap there, or they time it right, they all work together, and they could come out well for them, even if they are split up like they are.
Actually, looks like they're doing the smart thing here. They're sitting behind that 22 car. They're going to try to push him up. I
And
think
save a
they're
little
close
fuel.
enough for that second group. Jake's leading that. Well, technically the 8 car is, but Jake needs to get up on him and push him. Make sure they still got the draft of those other cars right in front of them.
Yeah, and I don't know, and it could be what I'm witnessing back there. That 8 car is just not able to hold a line even going down a straightaway. And when you're getting pushed, you got to be able to hold a line. Otherwise, the guy behind you, they can't push you because they run the risk
Yeah,
of turning you and wrecking everybody.
I know it's tough with the setups the way they are on fix. They wander a lot, but that's why you got to take the time and practice. Get in a pack that's actually drafting, so you're up at full
Oh,
song and
we
dial it
have
in.
a wreck. The 25 and the 58 come together. I'm not sure if the caution came out. It does look like it did. It did. All right. My thing actually updated for once. All right. So we'll get the yellow flags out there. So the caution came out, and let's see what happened here on this instance. It just looks like, I guess, the 58 and the 25 kind of get together. A little bit of quarter panel touchy. Maybe a little bit of net code. Quarter panel touchy was what sent them around and really brought out the caution. I don't know that really anybody got too much damage from that, though.
Yeah, that's hard to call.
It's almost
25 cars. He's holding that yellow or that. He's holding that black seam that you want to hold if you're holding the bottom line down.
the
But
13 gets involved. So we got 3
the
cars.
58 comes up and they hit.
Yeah, that's what it does look like to me. It looks like a little bit of a netcode door there, if you would. As I think I'm going to try and ride along with the 22 on the nose cam. If I can. I call it the nose cam. It's the hood or the roof cam. So let's see if we can't ride along with Martin Flute here. Maybe get a better view of what happened.
That's tough. If 25's just sitting there running a line to hold them down, not doing anything wrong. 58 comes off the yellow a little bit and they net code hit.
And it's hard to really kind of decide that one because it's so close for either way.
This puts us, we're still in a one-stop window right now.
Yeah, it's just it was unfortunate timing because it's just short, I think, of being able to make it. What is it? 20 or 27 to go. My
They're
off.
28 to go right now.
Well, oh boy, this could become a fuel mileage race.
They're going to go green, I think, with 26 to go. I wouldn't be surprised to see a bunch of these leaders top off.
And what could be interesting. So, like you said, a bunch of these leaders top off, but also something that I recall with the 29 who was in the wrong car, he was able to go 28 laps before he had to pit on multiple occasions. So you almost have to wonder who's in the driver's seat here, and is it Chad Engel? Certainly, being that last car offers you a little bit of an advantage to maybe try and eke out that little extra difference to get to the finish line.
I would top off here, coming to one to go. But you do not want to be the leader of this race.
Well, I don't believe they can because I believe it is a closed pits.
They should be open. They come down the first time by. They should be able to pit again.
I don't think with the move to the 3-lap caution
No, you
at
are. You
Daytona.
are.
Okay.
I did it several times in the NIS race. As long as you pit that first time, you can come back in the second time. But if you don't pit the first time, then it'll still be closed the second time on you.
10-4. Okay. So I wasn't sure how that worked, but
So,
it didn't look like anybody really topped
wow.
off.
I am color me surprised. I do not know why none of these guys did not pit.
Well, I think the car to watch, certainly Justin White getting his lap back is going to be interesting. But the guys that are going to be at the back of this pack, Cody Reeder, who I think actually might have came and topped off. Yep. Martin Plute, who also came and topped off.
Did he top off or did he get the lucky dog?
No, he was.
Martin Pluth should have got the wave around.
Okay. Yeah, well, he also says 0, so I don't think he pitted the same lap.
Justin White, I'm pretty sure is getting the wave around now. So they're going to need cautions.
Well, no, because it says Martin Plute stint 0, as if he just pitted on my timing.
He must have been the lucky dog then.
Yep. If he was the lucky dog, then yeah, you'd still be able to pit. I think BP also came down and topped off. I know Cody Reeder was not a lap down, so he definitely came down and topped
They
off.
put themselves in good position right now. We're going to go green with 25 to go. They burned at least 3/10 off just riding around. That's you're almost half a gallon a lap running around here.
Absolutely.
They need every bit of fuel they can get.
And like I said, a driver who might be in the driver's seat, Chad Engel. You know, he's been at the back of the pack, you know, just kind of riding along, and this is going to be that similar scenario.
We have a caution
already.
Big checkup in the back.
And which car?
18, 9, and 25 was started it. I'm still looking for the wreck. 9 car gets wrecked.
Okay. Let's see what we can see here. And big checkup, and that's, I think that's ooh, I don't really know how to call that. I think it's a big checkup, but they also, I don't know, they almost looked to me like they didn't even attempt to check up themselves. They were just going to go to the outside of them, and then they just run into one another. Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. But I will also say, in that case, I would be on pit road. When pit road is open, I'm coming down. You got another caution. You got that ability to just kind of take it easy, get into pit road here, and top off that little bit of fuel. Although also, this is now huge for the guys up front too, because if they have
fuel, they're saving.
Yep, because if they have the clutch, they have everything they need.
Oh yeah, I definitely have my motor cut right here.
Mm-hmm.
Clutch pushed in. I don't see anyone pitting, unless they just caught the pace car this time by. I got some people in the back pitting.
Yeah, I was gonna say I believe
They're the ones that got damaged.
Yeah, I believe they had just caught the pace car at start-finish line. So they might not have been able to pit yet. So we'll see when they come around here. Obviously, if we get the 1-to-go signal. Well, there goes the lucky dog. So I guess they just decide we'll shut the
The
cars
lucky
off.
dog always goes first time by at these shorter
On the
caution
short
races.
Okay. See, I learn things about the 3-lap cautions every time. I know how it works short tracks, but
yeah,
not here.
So this helped the guys up front. They're saving fuel now.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is going to be if we go green from here to the end and we got a green-white checkered. I think they're going to save enough right here for one, potentially. But if we have more than one, look out.
Yeah, certainly. You can kind of ride aboard with Dalton Tucker and hear it. I can't, but you guys might. We're on board with Matthew George. It kind of looks like, yeah, he definitely was clutching it, maybe off, looking at the RPMs.
You can see with the RPMs. I don't know if he has a kill switch. It doesn't look like he does. He's holding the clutch in, but I don't see his RPMs going to 0.
Mm-hmm.
If he had a kill switch, he'd be able to drop those RPMs while holding the clutch. So he's not saving as much as he could be right now.
Well, but he is at least saving somewhat, and that's what you want. But I still think he's in the wrong position. Obviously, sure, you want to be the leader. Who doesn't want to be the leader at Daytona? But you also have to take into account, I'm the leader. I'm the Pied Piper, if you would.
He's the one burning all the fuel.
Exactly. You might be the Pied Piper, but you ain't going to have any fuel.
Well, we're up to 14 cars on the lead lap. It's going to get interesting. We're coming to restart here with 21 laps to go, looks like.
Absolutely, and I'm going to maybe go for a different view on this restart. I think see what it looks like out the back of Matthew George going into turn 1. Actually, no, Dalton Tucker is the leader, so see what it looks like out the back of Dalton Tucker's car as he is the leader.
I got George scored as the leader.
Is he? I'm confused. My timing says Dalton. Your timing says George. One of them's the leader, one isn't. But we're going to get a great jump. It looks kind of almost even for both. I think George might be getting a little bit better. Well, now that outside as they dive into turn 1. And there's the inside line. As we know, on iRacing, that inside line is the place to be. Real life, maybe not so much, but iRacing, absolutely, you want to be on that inside line. As we've got 2 more cars around in the back. The 4 and the 14. Now, I don't know if it has thrown anything here.
Caution is out.
Yeah, so... Boy, I'm just not sure what happened there.
14 car just hooks the 4.
Well, I don't know. I just don't know at this point. Certainly, we know who is happy to see this again.
Yeah, Matthew George.
Yeah.
More fuel.
He's just saying, you know what? Keep it coming. I'll win. I'll win by you guys keep doing this. Boy, oh boy, that's it's been interesting. So, it's we're getting down to it at least. We're down to 20 to go. So it's coming to the end. We don't have much longer. I know I got Matthew George on the card. You got Chad Engel. We're going to have to see how this plays out. One of us might be right. Neither of us might be right. It might come down to the both of them. It's Daytona. I couldn't tell you to save my life.
Yeah, that's just about time to stop playing nice.
Yeah, I think you maybe got about 10 more laps of it. But once you get to that 10 to go mark, all bets are off. There ain't no teammates. There ain't nothing. There might be a little bit of teammate to try to help the two of you get out in front further. Coming to that white flag, maybe then you can battle it out between you. But as far as it goes, you ain't got friends. There ain't no friends left in this race for nobody. And if you got friends, I'm a little surprised as to how. As we have 14 cars on the lead lap. Well, I have certainly seen Daytona races with a lot fewer cars on the lead lap with 20 to go. So thank you, AI, for that one. I cannot stress this enough. I have seen the AI finish with 2 cars on the lead lap at Daytona. It is scary sometimes with them. So I think this will be 1 to go this time, if I'm not mistaken. And you can just kind of see there's, I believe that's Martin on just riding around on the apron, keeping the fuel in the pickup. I don't even know if that'll actually work on iRacing. I don't think the fuel load physics are there. But, yep, we're going to go 1 to green. Matthew George is going to take the inside line again. Jake Boyer is going to be pushing Dalton Tucker on the outside.
At this point in time, I don't think you can afford to restart on the high line. You know they're going to get that run if they stay tight through 1 and 2, but the way the high line's been restarting lately, I wouldn't put too much faith in it.
No, I would not either. Although I certainly would put my faith a little bit in Dalton Tucker on restarting on that high line.
Still got to have help.
Yeah, and, well, there's another one of those times where you got communication. With the affiliated team, the teammates, if you would. Certainly, Dalton Tucker able to talk to the guy behind him and tell him, all right, let's go, 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 go. So, you're 3 and 4. We're just going to have just about 17 laps to go, I think. It's not going to be much longer.
Yep, we're coming up to 17 to go, like you said.
And we're back to racing once and more. Oh.
Good start that time.
Oh, crap. As I have accidentally clicked the ticker off.
I said slower, not off.
See if we
Good
can't
push
pull
by the
this
88
back
so
up.
far, but a couple strong cars on the high line. I don't think I have any damage. Dalton can hold a good line. It's just going to be a matter of fact how good Jake can push him. Right now, it's not working out.
So we are back. We got the ticker back. Scoring box works. Everything's good. I do apologize about that. That's some technical difficulties, and sadly, while I had to have the race minimized, it kind of froze for that time being. So if you're wondering what the freeze on the screen was, that's all it was. I do apologize about that. Click the wrong button.
They're trying to hold tough, trying to get that outside line formed.
Yeah, and they're
It's
going
going
to
to be
have to
hard
get it.
charging. Eventually, the 88 is going to get hot, though. It looks like he took a little air, and there's the outside line.
Yep, and that outside line is usually eventually going to be able to prevail. You get just enough cars there, it can do its own. That inside line is going to be better no matter what through the corners around here, but down the straightaways, that outside line can really motor. And it's also all about trust right now. You got to trust the guy pushing you, and as the pusher, you got to trust the guy in front of you that he's not going to be squirrely. He's not going to be all over the place. And I don't know. Matthew George clearly doesn't trust his spotter, um, because he was clear up, but just never made the decisive decision to try to go up and maybe block Dalton Tucker.
Man, I don't know. That's so hard to do. You try to move up to block that second line. Either he's going to take you 3 wide or push you so damn hard that it puts you back down to the bottom. It's tough to do.
Yep, and it's got to be
I
done
wouldn't be
right.
surprised of all. If they can clear him, Dalton will drop down. Looks like they do.
They both
I,
clear him there.
yep, I
That's
didn't think Dalton would move down unless he could bring Jake with him.
Absolutely. And now it's Shane Weinmiller with Chad Angle pushing. So here comes your
Don't
guy.
look now.
He's stayed in it. He's done what he needed to keep that car clean. And with 14 to go, this man has got a chance. All right. So we're actually at 13 to go. I apologize. Said that second too early.
Oh, here we go. Got a run going. Bottom line has a checkup. They can only push so long.
And like we said, you get hot on that inside line a lot quicker than I think you do on the outside line. That outside line, you still have that room to kind of peek that nose out, get a little air to the inlet. Chad Engle's now really looking for air, so that thing must have been hot behind old Shane Weinmiller. And he's.
Ooh, you can't squeeze up that far. That 47 will fill that hole.
Yep, and I'm surprised that the 47 didn't fill that hole.
We're bouncing. We're bouncing for second.
Oh boy.
I said, kitty gloves are off. It's go time.
Absolutely. What you have to laugh at, too, pretty much this entire front 5 cars. They're all affiliated.
Yeah, don't let the different brands fool you.
Yep. They got their technical alliances.
If that 88 blinks out again, if that causes any issues.
Yeah, because certainly, he blinks out. Somebody's just like, all right, at this point, you can't just let off and let the car come back. You don't know if it's going to come back. You just kind of got to fill that at this point.
There's the chance. Is the 12 car going to clear him? Is he going to take it?
He's thinking about it. Oh, boy.
Chad got him a break right there.
Yeah, he thought about it, but just...
I don't blame Chad, though, because getting stuck on that third line, he definitely would have went backwards.
Absolutely. And there's no guarantee the 47 would have went with him. It's a little bit different when you know for a fact that that guy behind you is going to go with you. If you're going to make that move, but if it's just you, I don't know that I want to make that move.
Yeah, it's way too easy for that guy to just stay in the second lane.
And Chad's got to be easy here a little bit with pushing. You don't want to push too hard and get yourself too hot. But obviously you want to stick with it as the 88's not going to jump up to that outside line. And make it 3 cars. You certainly also don't want to be 2 cars. More cars, the better.
Ooh, man, that 88's aggressive. Almost hooked the 91 right there.
And that could have been the end of the day for the rest of the field for the most part. The save of about 2 cars. 2 or 3 cars, so. Come to 9 to go. We're into the single digits. It's getting to the end. And both of our guys have a shot at this. For sure, both of our
Run from the top
picks.
side.
This is
If
going
he
to be
clears him, he's going to come down.
this is going to be a good run. Oh,
Oh, he
Chad's going to get
did, but he
sent
hung
3
Chad out.
wides.
Man,
Oh,
he did not move down quick enough, and Chad went to the right a little, anticipating him moving down, and he stayed out. That allowed the 88 to put him in the middle.
absolutely. So that's not what you want to see if you're rooting there for Chad Angle.
Wow, the field doesn't want to see that 12 and 93 hookup. That's bad news.
Yeah, and they are nose to tail, locked to bumpers there. In just a moment.
Well, don't count old Chad boy out yet. He jumped back to the bottom. He's coming up to 5th.
And he's going to be able to just kind of slip on by. There's 2 cars on the outside line. They just don't have enough steam by themselves.
I think they both have a little bit of damage too.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what the decision is here. Who's going to go where? They got 8 to go, and you're going to have to make that move at some point. But the 2 drivers lined up now at the back of this little 4 or 5 front cars. Chad Angle and Matthew George at the front. Shane Weinmiller and Dalton Tucker. And right in the middle of both is Jake Boyer. And you have to ask the question, who goes with who?
Yeah, that's the tough part. I think for the most part, those front 5, they might be the only clean cars on the track right now.
Yeah, save for a few cars behind them. I think the 29, 24, whatever we're calling it, I'm not quite sure. Might be all right. There's a couple back there that could be okay in that. What is quickly becoming a second group. And if you notice who's leading that second group, and I don't want to say that it's playing a certain way, but that second group is being led by a certain affiliate car.
I just think that's how it shuffled out. He is hurting. I can tell that much. He definitely doesn't need to be the lead car.
Yeah, there's certainly a gap forming between that pack and this lead pack, just ever so slightly. Chad's put below the apron there for a second. Well, actually, I said that, and now Martin's coming back, so.
Check up front, that helped.
Oh, yeah, that definitely did help. Well, now they got the draft, so that group is there. Matthew George is going to put it to the outside. He's going to try and use.
Make something happen.
Yeah.
Tired of sitting in 4th place.
He's going to use a little bit of that side draft.
Car!
Just didn't hold his line well enough as the lead cars are coming around him. I think there was actually a little bit of contact made between the 28 and the 18.
Yeah, I think there was. We told them to hold their line, but not like that. Wow.
And could this also be a little bit of maybe Matthew George is maybe close on fuel? Maybe.
I think all the leaders, those 2 cautions we had, I think they're sitting good.
Yeah. Oh, we get a little bit of a big push out of that 88 coming out of that corner, and the 28 squarely.
Yeah, the 88's definitely not content to just sit there until 6th place and wait for someone else to make a move.
And honestly, I don't even know that any of these guys are going to make a move. Although I think Dalton Tucker's setting it up right now. You could see he's kind of getting off the back bumper of Shane Weinmiller, trying to back up to Jake Boyer's nose, and trying to get that run at some point here. If he gets it done right, he's not going to have
47, 17. They're all saying, "Hey, we're not going to ride here."
Yeah, and Dalton's not going to have much more time to think about this.
He's going to jump up. I'd be surprised if he doesn't jump up.
He hasn't yet. It looks like he's just going to try and push Shane.
He'll push him to stay clear until he's hot. Then if he doesn't jump up, I'd be surprised.
And here they come. That inside line comes back with a vengeance through turn 1. They're able to clear.
He's looking. He's staying in line. How long can you afford to stay in line?
I just don't know. I don't think it takes as long for these guys to be able to make a move as it does in real life.
It's hard, man. I think it's even harder to pass here than it is in real life. Ooh, we got contact in the back. 88 spinning to the inside.
And everybody's
We're
clear
still
back up onto the
green.
track. And we're going to deal with a little bit of lap traffic. This is going to be interesting.
He held the bottom. This is a chance to shake it up.
And it looks like everybody's going to make it through. But the
Chad's gonna
36 is
get hung out.
Yep. He's going to get sent to the outside. Jake Boyer maybe thinking about going up and helping him. But he's going to stay down. Well, he's still not sure what he's going to do.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
And you can't
We're
be
coming to one to go.
indecisive. The 40 or the 29/24 of Cody Reeder is now pushing Chad Angle, leading the outside charge. What's going to happen?
We're coming to one to go.
The white flag is out.
And I think Dalton's going to jump up. Chad's going to have to make a decision real fast. Do I push him or do I take it 3 wide? Jake might even jump up right here. He's got room. He's clear. It's time to go. It's time to make a move.
Somebody's got to make the move.
There
There goes Jake Boyer. He's going to get...
Chad, don't do it, Chad.
Oh, no, there they go. There goes the field. It's going to be between Dalton Tucker and Shane Weinmiller. And we'll go back
17 and 47 if it gets too crazy. That one was on Chad. He moved up to the third line, tried to cut him back off, and the hole was already there.
And here we go. Dalton ducks to the outside. They're going to door. They're going to door.
Dalton's going to get him.
And Winston scored at the line. Did he?
.005. Winner, Dalton Tucker.
All right. Well, it's interesting. My timing. Oh, okay. So we'll show that for just a second so that you guys can see that, yep, the timing is slightly screwed on that one. And there it goes. It just adjusted. 0.006 according to ATVO, but 0.005 according to iRacing. So an incredible run to the line, and we'll go back and take a look at Chad Angle in that final incident there.
Man, we were harping on it all race long, and that affiliation, that big team. I know there's some drivers mid-pack coming to the end of that. They were not happy. It seemed like to them no one wanted to make a move, and it was kind of like that because they're all working together.
And so here we go. We're riding on board with Cody Reeder. You can see Chad gets a nice run, and then Jake Boyer jumps up. Chad starts to come down a little. They come across each other's nose, and everybody scatters. Matthew George was on the infield, and oh, this is not going to end well for him. Oh, he actually kept it out of the wall, and I think managed to pull out a ninth place finish, it looks like. So good on him. But certainly a interesting set of events that happened there. So take another look at it from the far cam. And we'll get our top 3 up here in the booth in just a minute. Actually,
yeah, go ahead and grab them in the waiting room there. I'm taking a winner's picture here. We'll get the top 3 and interview them third to first.
Absolutely. I'm actually going to, just before we do that, get a nice little ride-along shot, if we can, of Dalton Tucker coming out of 4 and trying to get that win. So what a view. You see him just use a little bit of that side draft. We get a little bit of a squeeze, and what a run to the finish line. Just eking it out. So awesome, awesome finish there for Dalton Tucker. All right. Let me see if I can't find him. All right. So we're looking for... Who was third?
Jake Boyer.
So we're looking for Jake Boyer.
They're all in the same room.
I figured. Shane Weinmiller and Dalton Tucker. All right, and I think we'll start with probably
Jake.
Jake. Yep, that's what I was thinking. All right. Actually, we'll use that as the. There we go. All right, so we'll pull Jake up into the booth and we'll see what we got here. Jake Boyer, you got a copy?
10-4.
So that was an intriguing race. I know we saw a bit of everything. We saw the junior line at one point. We saw some incredible racing. What was it watching Dalton and Shane coming to that finish line and seeing that close of a finish?
It was very bittersweet. Shane is driving one of my cars for this race. He joined Flatline Graphics Racing for the 500 and a couple of races, and I worked so well with Dalton today. I, I was hoping that Shane was going to slow him up just a little bit, and I could have made a run, but I couldn't be more happy with the third place finish. Started on the pole and then finished in third. I'll take it.
Absolutely, you had a great race. I don't think there was really too many mistakes made by you guys up front. I think Shane might have had the only mistake I saw all day, but you guys ran a great race. And what was kind of that mindset coming to the end? When was it that you thought there was a point you might go and try to get that win?
Well, the top 3, 4, 5 there were all teammates, all on the same radio. So there was really no secrets on what was going to happen. Everybody kind of stayed quiet, and we were going to race it out there. I kind of feel bad. I kind of had to go out and put a block on Chad Engel, and I know that really slowed up that top line, and I think that's what turned him. But we're on the last lap, the Daytona 350. I mean, we had to go for it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we had said with about 10 to go, all bets are off, no friends are left. So was that kind of the idea there? Once you got to a certain point, you just I don't care who you are at that point. Uh, this is for Daytona.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you just said, it's Daytona. I know a lot of us, owner point guys were up in the mix of this, and like to see some of these champ guys get some good points. I know Dalton was a champ guy, and then BP back there. I think he ended up with a good top 10 finish. But like you said, it's Daytona. We're gonna go for it, man.
Absolutely. Josh, you got anything you want to ask him?
Jake Boyer. Tell me why, with 3 to go, you didn't pull out and try to make that high side work, man.
Honestly, Shane was up there for quite a few laps whenever I was pushing Dalton, and I honestly thought that it was going to stall out. I saw Chad and those guys trying to work that high line, but with the three of us on the bottom, we kept pulling away. And honestly, I was kind of scared that if I pulled out there, I was going to be sucked back and wouldn't even have a shot. So I wanted to kind of wait to that last lap on the back stretch to try to make the move, and it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't at this point. But I had last lap on my mind the entire time, that's where I was going to make my move.
Oh, I got you, man. I understand it completely. I know how hard it can be to be in that position. You're kind of at the mercy of the front two if you're pinned down, but you had the option. You decided not to use it. And, fortunately, you're still able to get third place. Um, Anything you could have done different, or was it as I saw it in my mind? Once the coming off of four, these two pull out side by side. It's pretty much between the two of them.
Yeah, I think the only thing that would have helped me is if whenever I pulled the block on Chad, if he could have kept it straight, and um, he would have been able to push me. I think we could have got up there maybe side by side, but if I didn't have any help, it's just you're getting all the wind on the nose and it's going to suck you straight back. So it was I needed the help on the outside. That's why I didn't want to make the move any earlier than I did. I actually peeked out to the outside at one point, then ducked back in. I knew it was too early, and then I saw that outside line getting a heck of a run. I'm like, this is go or no. So I took a shot at it.
Well, hey man, you did what you had to do. Fortunately, you're able to bring it home for third place. That's an owner's points car, but owner's points, that's a good start. Third in points. Anyone you want to thank? Give any shout outs before I let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to just thank my team. I had Shane Weinmiller and Martin Plute in this race. Jason Brewer was also the fourth car in this stable. He wasn't able to make it with all the winter storms that's going on across the country right now. But my flatline graphics racing team. It was great. So I actually have to thank Pal Ghost PRT. Those guys were very fast. Dalton and BP and Chad. It was just a great race, and just go on to the next.
All righty, man. Well, appreciate your time. We'll let you go here. Go celebrate.
Hey, I definitely want to thank you guys for doing this broadcast. It's in the works, and you guys are doing great.
Well, we appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. All right. So we'll talk to Shane Weinmiller next, our second place finisher.
A little technical issues there. Shane Wine,
Whoopsies.
that's a super guy listening in the booth. Got a copy.
Sure do.
Well, man, second place. Tried to drag racer there to the end. I know you were kind of in the catbird seat, kind of not in the catbird seat. What did you need to go different for you to be able to hold on to that win?
The wall.
What were you thinking though? I know you're kind of a sitting duck, but I know while I was watching it, I was like, man, if they can get that second line formed up and it would pin Dalton in on the bottom, that's probably be your best bet because it wouldn't give him any other choice but to push you. But that top line, they just couldn't get organized and they kept stalling out. Were you aware of what was going on, or are you just focused forward and watching Dalton in the mirror?
We were just talking about before you yanked me up. If they would have got going, he said he was just going to stick it out and push. But I mean, it's hindsight's 2020. I don't know what happened on the backstretch, but all I seen was cars go flying. Then I was like, okay, well, time to mirror drive. So, um, it's Daytona. I mean, you just either it's going to work for you or it ain't. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I know there were some guys that were a little upset in the middle of that pack that it seemed like no one wanted to work and go for the win. I understand being in that stable last year. You got a couple alliances you work really well with, and plate tracks are definitely the area for you guys to work together and show off your strength. Uh, how much of a bonus and a positive is that to be with a group of guys as big as what you have?
It's nice. I mean, you know they're gonna work with you, and you're gonna work with them. So I mean, it's mutual, and you take advantage of it as much as you can. Especially, they're in the middle of the race. We're just lined up and working on our pit strategy and making things work. So come down to the end, you still every man for himself, I think. But overall, you get to lean on these guys for a lot, and I've learned a lot from them and getting refreshed, being back after like 6 months I was gone. But so it's really nice to have that big group of people to lean on.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Jake had mentioned you were kind of filling in to put that car in the 500. Is any other cut plans coming up, or is it just going to be a as you can type of deal, or what's how's it looking?
Well, I mean, you probably won't see me on the road course. I don't know yet. I haven't made up my mind, but I think I'm just going to kind of fill in double duty as we go, and I appreciate him, giving me a ride in this race and any other races coming further. I can guarantee you'll probably see me at Dega and the other super speedway races. Probably any track that I like to run, but I don't know. Hell, who knows? You may see me all season. We'll just kind of play it by here.
Absolutely. You got anything, Nick?
Yeah. So you you might have been the only guy I caught that had any kind of small mistakes. There was a certain pit stop, and you might already know exactly which one I'm talking about.
I kicked that thing down into first gear and it just went sideways. I was like, oh crap.
so that explains why it happened. What I was surprised to see was how well you were able to recover from that and get back out with the rest of the group.
All luck, man. I didn't put it in the wall. I didn't put it too far offside. I slid through the pit stall, got it backed up, and got it going again. And luckily, I guess I didn't hurt the tires because there wasn't any kind of slidey coming off.
Well, and that's the key there. You got to keep those tires healthy to keep them nice. You want to keep them friendly, if you would. Yeah, it's that was a hell of a moment. You managed.
I'm glad you caught that. I was hoping nobody's seen it. Wasn't
Oh,
on the
I
broadcast,
got it.
was it?
Oh, it was on broadcast. I was on your
Damn
car
it.
right when it happened.
Ah, crap. Well,
So it
I'm glad
wasn't
everybody
just
got to
me.
watch me mess up then,
Absolutely. So
Oh, mercy.
I'll leave it with you. Got anybody you want to thank or shout out to?
Yeah, all them guys that I just worked with in the race, Martin, Jake, BP, um, Dalton, thanks for beating me again. Um, Matthew, I appreciate Conover doing all this and putting it on and working with me as I was coming back to help me get settled back in and get back in the routine of things. But definitely thanks to Jake for giving me a ride and painting me up a nice, pretty Verizon car. It's a weird paint scheme being on a Chevy, but it fits. So, and then thank you guys for doing what you do. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you for spending the time to end the race with us and move you out. And we'll see you maybe next week. If we do, I'll be your competitor, not your broadcaster.
I'm wrecking you.
All right.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
And we'll pull Dalton Tucker up to the booth, our race winner. Dalton Tucker, you got a copy?
I got you, man.
Coming out of 4. It's nose to tail, and I got to get that side draft. I got to get up there, and you managed to get it done. Do you know the the time of difference between you and second?
See, I thought it was more. I thought I was a couple feet in front of him, and I guess he shot down the track at the end, and I didn't realize it was as close as it was.
Absolutely, 0.005 according to iRacing. So a hell of a finish. You guys had a great time. You were about the only person I also saw that did the old Pied Piper mirror driving. Dale Jr., if you would, lead him around, block, do what you got to do to hold on to that lead earlier in the race. I think it was for the stage 1, maybe.
I didn't make too many friends on that, but I know how important stage points are, and I mean, if you get 10 points or 9 points, 8 points, it's not much difference. But if you get 10 points, that's 1 point for the playoff, and that's what I was really going after.
Absolutely, and that could make a difference down the road in those playoffs. I'm certainly not thinking that you're going to be strapped for getting a win once we get down to that time. But if you are, that playoff point could be the life or death between going home.
Yeah, for sure. I've been in previous leagues where I did really good in the regular season, get in the playoffs, and just get wrecked or something 3 races in a row, and I'm out, and I miss it by 1 or 2 points. So I know how much just every point matters now.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, winning, you had a big contingent of guys up there at the front that were essentially teammates, if you were. Was there any point where you thought maybe I'd get it a line earlier, or watching that outside line come up and thinking maybe I could get out in front of that and take the lead myself with a few laps to go?
Honestly, my strategy was just kind of to stay behind Shane, and I got my temperature where I wanted it, so I knew I could probably push the last 2 laps and never come off of him, and that was the plan. we got on the backstretch and I saw the wreck happen, and I knew the only real contender was Jake behind me, but he didn't really have any help behind him. And that's when I figured I'd go for it off of 4. And I know that outside move is about the only move that works with the side draft and all that, just the speed you can carry. And I mean, I was content with getting second or third and just pushing Shane because I knew the outside line couldn't pass us if I stayed there.
Absolutely. Well, I'll leave it to Susie if he's got any questions for you.
Man, I tell you what, watching that move out of turn 4, you gave me a little heart attack because just 2 weeks ago, in my duel for another league, I lost the same way you just won. I was in Shane's position. I lost by .000. I know how much that sucks. I was waiting to see if you were going to be able to pull it off. Once they got all disorganized on the backstretch and wrecking, is that when the light bulb clicked in your head and you're like, man, this is my chance?
Exactly. Because I mean, honestly, I wasn't going to give up the bottom if there was an outside line, just because I know if I move up coming out of 4 with an outside line, they're going to make it 3 wide, and it never goes out good for whoever's in the middle. So as soon as I saw him wreck, I ain't gonna say I smiled a little bit, but I kind of thought, oh, like this is my one chance. So let me make it basically as late as I can, and I don't think I could have made it any later than that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, once the wreck happened, they split up. And I knew Jake was the only one that was with you guys, but it looks like he had lost a little bit of momentum. I figured it was pretty much going to be a side by side race to the line. It was just going to be whether or not he was willing to rough you up any or if he was going to run you clean. I learned from experience, you run them clean, and usually you lose because they get that side draft and they're able to get by you. But it was a hell of a finish. You did a great job with your team and with the organizations you guys are allied with. And having a large number of members all together definitely plays off dividends here at the plate tracks. I know some of the guys weren't too happy no one was pulling out of line, but how much do you value having that team organization help you out?
Oh, I mean at any plate track, or I guess they're not really plate tracks anymore, but super speedways, it's all about your team. You can't win it by yourself. I mean, there's a 15 mile per hour difference, and I mean you got to have help. And luckily, I had Jake and Shane and just the whole team basically with me the whole race. And Shane basically gave me the stage 2 win, which he didn't have to, but he's going for owner's points, so he was nice enough. And then caution came out, and I mean I can't do it without the ghost team, the flatline team, just everybody that was with us.
Absolutely. When it comes to these plate tracks, as we'll call them, or super speedway tracks, I guess. Tapered spacer tracks. I don't know. We'll call them something. But teamwork definitely is the key to success here and maintaining having a good track position. We saw you pull a little fakey on the field now. I heard it a couple times across the radio. You said you're pitting. Never pit. What's the deal?
It's more or less to see who's gonna bite. If I'm up front, I'll do it, but if I'm in the middle of the pack, I don't want to do it. So I just kind of see who's gonna bite and see if anybody wants to go down. And the first time, a whole bunch of people went down, and we were kind of like, well, they may have trouble, so we'll come in the next lap. And after it worked the first time, we just kept doing it and seeing how many people we could fake out with it.
Well, I heard you do it twice over the radio. The first time you definitely got a bunch of people, and the second time they smartened up a little. You only got three. Anything else for him, Nick, before we let him go celebrate?
I think you just leaving them with you got anybody to thank or shout out to?
Definitely got to give a shout out to Ghost PRT team. First race with us, and lucky enough to get the win. Honestly, lucky enough to race around people like Shane and Jake that raced extremely clean, that made it possible to win. Not Jake. Shane had every reason to put me in the wall, to bump me. I don't know how many times I've hung him out to dry, or just either this race or a dual race or the '87 race, and he raced extremely clean. if I'm going for a win like this, I don't know if I could do it, but I mean, hats off to him and everybody on the Flatline team, and also I'm not sure the name of the team that Jake created, but I think they finished second and third, which is a heck of a job. And just shout out to everybody in the race tonight. It's a pretty big field and a long race, and it was extremely clean for what it was. And of course I got to thank you guys. It's gonna be fun to go back and watch the end and each stage and things like that.
Well, we definitely appreciate it, man. Thank you for the kind words. We're still working here. We're still learning and growing. We enjoy watching you guys out there putting it on a show. We'll let you go here. Go celebrate. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, man.
And that's about all we got. I think it didn't end too hot for either of our picks. They finished 9th and 11th. So we
It's
were a
not our
little
fault.
off.
We didn't curse them. I will not take that responsibility.
Well, it was a fun one. I loved it. It was a great race. Certainly, I'm seeing a lot of ride openings popping up for the road course. So we'll see how filled that race is. I'm looking forward to running it. I think at this point, I'm about the only person I've seen that is looking forward to running it. So we're going to move on to that. But I think Dalton Tucker, with that stage win, I'd argue he's probably your point leader, even
Oh
Daytona.
yeah, absolutely. I think he got both stages, and he got the race win. So he definitely should have most points. Most importantly, though, uh, he's locked into the chase. What more can you
Absolutely.
want?
Absolutely. That win gets you into the chase. And there's no guarantee that, all championship drivers are going to win races this year. I know there's some certain races where there's some certain ringers that aren't running for a championship that are showing up to run. So um, we'll have to see how it goes, but certainly great race from Dalton, Shane, the boys, everybody involved. I got to once again thank the admins, everybody that is here to put this show on. Josh, you for yourself for race controlling while helping out in the broadcast booth. So
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Sometimes it's hard to split my attention, especially if something serious is going on the track. So I appreciate you covering and filling in on those dead spots where I'm trying to take care of things on the track side. But I've been having a lot of fun, man. This is a blast.
absolutely. So I like I said, I can't wait for the road course. As we know, I'm going to be in that car, so I believe it might be the Josh and Josh show if you're race controlling and in the booth again, because I believe
Sounds like it.
Conover's. Yeah, I believe Conover's in charge of the broadcast, probably for the next few weeks. Actually, from what he told me, I don't think he's going to be back in the car till the dirt race.
Yeah, but that'll be a lot of fun when it's the three of us up here.
Yeah, I think that'll be Las Vegas. I know I'm not planning on running it, so we'll see if that's the case. The case. But overall, I think we're about done here from what is now very cloudy Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yes, sir. I think you're just about correct.
Well, for the NORA broadcast booth, this has been Nick Eilis, and he is
Josh Susi.